You're alive! I figured I would shock everyone this time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's RJ cutting in.
Oh, he did.
You couldn't
here
try
it
and
is.
be slightly
RJ!
It's my boy!
Oh,
It's
he's not doing the
RJ.
buttons too.
Right at the right moment.
Take it off.
Take it off.
Stinky ass boots off. So I literally just walked in the door.
Yeah, I saw your message like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Cool, he'll be coming in right as we go live." That's right.
I like how big RJ is on stream too.
I fixed him.
He's the real star.
I fixed him. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, as Obliviously Adventurous has taught us, these are features. We wanted you to see how gorgeous RJ was, so we made him 10 times his normal size.
I'm sorry if your camera is malfunctioned from this point forward.
It made you
Can't handle it.
teeny tiny on my
Too
screen.
handsome
And
to be you.
teeny tiny in your screen. Corey, yes, you will one day. Damn it. Mr. Viking will play with us someday.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But so tonight is Wednesday night, and Wednesday night is time for Kingdoms of Mist. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, thank you so much for joining us. We welcome you. This is only our third episode, so this is a great time to be getting in, as we are still getting the whole getting to know you vibes and figuring out which character is going to kill the other first. It's looking like I'm betting on Grandpa killing Aeon.
I agree.
And you know what? In the end, I don't even think it's gonna be Grandpa's fault. I think it's just gonna be the whole no personal space respected.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a reflex action.
Hey, I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be way
minding
too
his
close,
business.
and Grandpa's gonna boom.
I will make Grandpa my best friend. Whatever you know.
or
You make Grandpa your best friend. I make Shugosh my best friend. And we're all set.
we always need to put in the or die trying.
Yeah.
Because,
Yes.
True.
you know.
I will die for that.
Absolutely.
You might go through a couple walls first, just as a warning.
But it might get you a really good
Long
Christmas
suffering
present.
sighs and head shakes from my end. Just
Yep.
So,
No
ladies
one
and gentlemen,
is Utopia, but Grandpa, I will make you my friend.
I will.
there is no doubt. But tonight is our D&D 5e campaign. Now, for this campaign, I am creating a world for us to play in. It's kind of unique. It's kind of different. It's got a lot of elements of things that have been tried before, but it's also got a lot of elements that I've basically stolen from other entities, such as Treasure Planet. Also, Jim Butcher's novel, The Aeronauts Windlass, was a big inspiration, and the Eberron campaign setting is also another big inspiration. But I basically decided that what I wanted pirates in space, but instead of lasers, I still wanted them to be using magic. So I created a world for that to happen in, and now these guys are going to go explore that world. The name of the world is called Kingdoms of Mist, and the reason it's not named after a planet or anything like that is because the Mists are a giant sentient gas giant. And the giant gas giant basically brought a bunch of people in because she was lonely. She created a bunch of planets for them to live on, and then she let them loose. She really just wanted company, and she found a way to get it. Now, all that being said, we do have some announcements to get through real fast, if you don't mind. First off, do not forget that this Friday is going to be the next episode of the Lab Experiments in Gaming, where they will be continuing their game of Fall of Magic with the creator of Fall of Magic, Ross Kalman. And that will be going on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. and it is going to be.
You mean 8 p.m.? We're later than you.
No. So flip it, because Ross said he wanted to do it at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
So it's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. There.
Okay.
Got it.
There we go. Yep.
Got it. So 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Archie's frozen like that. That was funny as hell. But anyway,
Doing that to you
He
guys.
definitely does do that on purpose, by the way.
but anyway, so but that's going to be going on this Friday. And then, of course, the next Friday is going to be dinner conversations, and that evening we're going to have actually a number of special guests. So for this dinner conversation, we're gonna it's going to be myself, Milagros. Were you going to be able to make it?
Yup.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's going to be myself, Milagros, and it's going to be Nicholas Cardelli from the Growing Up with D&D podcast. And it is also going to be trying to find what her tag is, because I don't want to use her name if I don't have to. Ivy Shadow from the Lark Network. They're all going to be joining us, and we're going to be discussing the topic consent in gaming. Now, this is going to be a big topic for us to cover. We're going to give it the normal 2 hours. But if it goes longer, it goes longer. And this is kind of an important topic, so I wanted to get as many people on the panel as possible. So if anyone else can join us, we'd love it. But, right now we've got a good, strong panel, so I'm very happy. Also, these amazing people in front of you also do a lot to help create content for you all to enjoy. And I would like to give them a few moments to go over that content. So, let's start with Milagros. Milagros, where can people find you?
What's up? I can be found mostly at the username FountainPenFem. I have a link tree. If you want to find all sorts of stuff, I have a Twitter, personal Instagram, educational Instagram, and soon I'm going to be back to making videos, educational writing videos on TikTok. I will also be launching my YouTube channel soon, where I will be posting videos about basically just snitching on my bachelor's degree in writing and teaching people about story form and all that stuff, because I think it should be more accessible. I'll also be returning to Twitch, where I'll be doing regular streams showing the progress of building a database for my fantasy world, as well as the process I have for creating characters, world building, what it looks like when I finally start writing prose, and how I organize all my notes so that I can use them throughout my process. So yeah.
There you go. Cool. And we also have Sphinx, who is another creator, and we'd love you to tell us where they can find you, Sphinx.
You can find me mostly on TikTok at CircleDM. I also have a link tree for all of my things: Instagram, Twitter. I don't think my Facebook's on there, but that's okay. But I also run a D&D podcast of my own called Agents of the Circle. It's a original homebrew campaign set in the Eberron universe. We are in the middle of our 3rd season, so I'd love if you check this out. And hopefully by midsummer, we'll be streaming live as well. So
Excellent.
that will be a lot of fun. So check us out, please. Thank you.
Amazing. And Rob, thank you very much for the subscription. Agnostic Trek, thank you so much.
Agnostic Trek, hi!
Yeah. Welcome.
And we have Rob, who is a member of the cast of the lab. Rob, would you like to tell us a little bit about what's happening Friday some more?
All right. So Friday we are going to be continuing a fun little game. Sorry, my dress Henry. Okay.
Agnostic just gifted out 5 subs.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Agnostic Trek.
Wow,
That is so
yeah.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Hurt.
So there's going to be a
Hurt.
lot of noise for a second. I've got to turn it a little bit down so they should be able to hear you.
Yeah, so we are going to be doing Fall of Magic, which is a sort of GM-less story-based role-playing game. So more based on, there's not really any combat. It's all entirely, role-play and storytelling. And it's essentially like a conversation. You all talk about everything, and you work it out in your head until everybody feels sort of comfortable with what's happening. And it's going to be super cool because, of course, we have Ross Kalman, the creator. We already did one session, and it was phenomenal. And I honestly just can't wait for the next one. And yeah, generally the lab just always does like one-off games. This is the first time we've ever done a sort of series in a sense. We haven't done that many games though, so yeah, it's going to be super fun. Hope everybody drops by.
Yep, and he's also also this is leading into another game that he created. What was the name of the other one?
Oh, City of Winter.
City of Winter. That's what it is.
I really should know, seeing as how Full of Magic is my favorite game.
So, City of Winter is City of Winter Park. No. Deernicorn Games. Heart of the Deernicorn. That is the name of Ross Kalman's development company, by the way. Heart of the Deernicorn. If you get a chance, go check them out. They are amazing. And they are working on a game that they are kickstartering, which is, I do believe, City of Winter, but he doesn't have it on his page.
I believe it's already funded as well, so now it's just reaching like
Stretch
tiers.
goals.
Yeah, stretch goals.
Nice.
Yes, but it is it's games similar to Fall of Magic. It's actually a continuation in that series, and so it's going to be we're going to get a live play of that. So that's going to be amazing too. So, and finally we have RJ and Rome. RJ and Rome are two guys I met when I was looking around on Facebook and found their streams, or their stream, I should say. They are both members of OA, and OA stands for Obliviously Adventurous. RJ, would you like to tell us a little bit about the hijinks on Obliviously Adventurous?
I mean, you literally just explained it. It's nothing but hijinks, shenanigans, and Frank blowing himself up in space games.
Yeah.
It's absolutely glorious.
You also have a certain D&D game, though.
I blow myself up in that one too.
Yes, he does.
So we have West Haven. Usually Sunday night, 7:30. We might have a little bit of surprise this week that might delay us a day, but it'll be well worth it if we go that route.
I mean, we can pitch it in here. So Monday, we can pitch it in here. Monday is our 1-year anniversary of our campaign.
Oh wow!
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah.
Happy anniversary!
Talking about doing something special for it.
Yeah.
Like TP King.
No.
Well, I mean, we do that on a normal basis. So
We ruin Panda's day every time he tries that against us, and it's absolutely glorious. He almost cried last night.
It was pretty rough watching Panda's plans get just crushed. They killed his first big bad in 10 minutes or something.
Damn.
Well, it was the second part of the fight.
End of the story arc, and we counterspelled the shit out of that cleric.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it
Grave
was
Domain
bad.
Cleric, both of his big heals at the end to try and bring his companion back were counterspelled, and he nat one of those. So
It was just
yeah,
bad.
it was glorious, and then I cleaved his head from his shoulders, and it was just.
And I've noticed something watching y'all's games. In Panda's defense, the dice roller freaking hates him.
Some
It depends
days,
on the day, because
yeah,
2 episodes ago it was me, and he was rolling. I think he rolled like 3 nat 20s, 4 nat 20s in the night.
Oh wow!
But it was
Damn.
definitely a rough night for Panda, but a great and glorious night for you guys.
oh yes.
But other than that, that is basically where you can find all these amazing people, and you can check out their content. I highly recommend it. It's all incredibly entertaining, and that is kind of why we gathered everyone together for this situation, to get a bunch of group of people together and put together an excellent game to share content with you guys and entertain you while you're trapped in your houses. So, all that being said, let's get to the game, shall we? Now, we left off, and we were in a situation that was a little bit tense. We had the game stop because we had a lot of technical issues, unfortunately. So what we're doing now is we're going to be taking right up from where we left off. We were actually out of combat, but during the combat, there was a shadow creature.
We weren't out of combat.
Were we still in combat?
Yeah, I
I
think
just
we're still in
cleaved
combat.
into his shield as you were
Yeah.
talking.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Shield
That's right. That's right.
looked
That's right. That's
Combat's
right.
not over yet.
I
While
forgot.
he was busy,
buddy.
while he was busy being built like a bitch.
He's being built like a bitch.
That was the demon.
Okay, good.
No, but this was his boyfriend, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is his
Yeah.
boyfriend who's built like a
Who's
bitch.
built like a
Yeah.
bitch.
So
Yeah.
the shadow creature has kind of lured off Val, Aeom, and oh my god, I can't remember your character's name now. All of a sudden,
Utopia.
and down an alley. And as they're moving away, at the last moment, Grandpa and Shugash kind of doubled back to the entrance to the prison, and as they doubled back, Grandpa kind of got in front of the door, and a figure stepped through the door, and it was a figure wearing plate mail armor, carrying a shield with a longsword in hand, and Shugash lashed out and slashed into him. Did you actually roll your damage yet?
That was Grandpa at the back.
That was
Grandpa's
me,
right now,
and it's the last rolls on.
Gotcha.
Um,
Got it.
yep.
Got it. So, and he successfully hit him, and tore into his shield. But when he did so, there was like a tattered cloth that was kind of like tied across the front of the shield, and as he slashed into it, the cloth was ripped off the front of the shield.
That's where we left off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm gonna move this real quick. Come on. There we go. Boop. All right. So let us begin with so that was on what's wrong?
The camera. Oh, never.
No,
So
It's just RJ.
for those of you wondering, the big green sphere, the yellowish green sphere, is dancing lights from Sphinx.
No, from
Oh, right.
it was from Sphinx. That's right.
That was me.
Yeah, and
And
they're all
then-
concentrated in one square.
The small green circle is a circle of light on my boots.
Yep, cast on his boots. So you slashed out. You successfully hit him. You did a grand total of 28 points of damage to him because you're using your divine favor as well. Let me take that off him because I haven't taken that off him yet. There we go. And that was the. Did you have anything left to do on your turn, Grandpa?
I am checking to see if divine favor counts as a bonus action or not.
Ooh, that lipstick, Milagros. It's awesome.
Thank you. Didn't want to put it on while eating.
And it's a bonus action, so that would be the end of my turn.
All right. So we come around, and it is now Shugash's turn.
I'm going to walk next to my brother.
I can't really hear Rome, but that might be me.
Yeah, same. I can't really hear.
How am I in your chat?
I can hear him.
Am I quiet for everybody?
Yeah, you're pretty quiet, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm turning up your mic on the VC, so hopefully that'll help.
Great.
But I don't know if anyone else will be able to.
Okay, yeah, if you want to
Oh,
turn me
that's
up on VC, how am I on stream?
You're max on VC, and they say you're very quiet on stream. But give it a
Now
few
you-
moments because I just turned you at max on VC.
Yeah.
So
So I was like, I'm not going to change my settings until I hear something. 'cause,
I'm not going to change my settings until I know I have to.
I mean, last time it sounded like I was deep throating my mic.
Wait, am I?
Okay, so I'm
He's
done.
better
I
for
need
me
an
too.
adult.
Sorry.
No, I don't.
Rome is
As I
better.
was saying.
Hey,
I'm used to
Captain!
speaking to my channel, so.
Oh, Rob is 15% louder than the rest of the stream?
Am I louder?
Okay, so I'm
Yes,
good.
she says you're louder.
Okay.
So mug,
I got you.
Grumpuck.
Looks like Rome is much better now.
Yes.
Rob should be coming in better now.
Hello, hello.
But I'm
Apparently,
just-
I was quite bassy.
Yelling
I don't think I have a
come on,
bassy
yeah.
voice. I have a pretty high voice, I think.
All right, so Shagash moves up.
Yeah, it's just what I hear in my head.
Did anyone catch that, or was I talking to myself?
You were talking to yourself. What was it?
No, I yelled Somog at Grumpuck,
Uh-huh.
which hopefully he's been studying.
Oh,
No.
Let me get my
And then-
translator.
Google Translate. What does that mean?
It means attack in
Remember, I
Orcish.
speak Orc.
Oh, okay.
Where did it go? I'm going to
Not.
cast Emboldening Bond, which doesn't give you a
Ooh.
description or anything. So
Ooh.
Emboldening Bond is a D4 to. I'll read it. As an action, you choose up to 2 willing creatures within 30 feet of you. A creature creating a magical bond for 10 minutes. While bonded to creatures within 30 feet, once per turn, they can roll a D4 and add it to an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw they make. And then I'm also going to use Shield of Faith on him, and that will be me.
All right. Now, is that... Wait.
Ooh.
Shield of Faith is a bonus action,
Big change.
Yeah, as a bonus action, yes.
but the other one is what?
It's not a spell, it's a
Got
class
it.
feature.
Perfect. All right. So you are done, sir?
Apparently, I casted it on myself.
Oh, well.
Isn't it
Aw.
touch? Or no, it might not be. It might be me.
Let me check it.
It is.
Oh, it doesn't let me see it.
No, you can
No,
cast it on
Replay.
others.
Replay. Oh yeah.
Got it. All right. So you're putting that on Grandpuck then?
Yes.
So I have a 21 AC right now.
Boom, 21 AC. All right. So after Grandpuck comes comes Miss Asta. Utopia, you're up.
What's up? Okay, I already got the Shadow Demon to explode,
Splattered
but
it
because
everywhere.
combat hasn't ended, I'm very suspicious.
Well, you hear Grandpuck and Shugash around the corner yelling back and forth to each other.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to them.
You have for standard movement, you have 6 squares, and you
Yes.
can't move through enemies, but angle movement is allowed, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'm gonna move 20 feet and go beside Sugash because we're besties.
Just remember one thing: you can't reach anything that's not right base to base with you. So, what are you gonna do after you run up there?
Can I hold an action?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Remember,
Can
the
I-
action has to be keyed, which means you have to say what you're holding, what the action is going to be that causes you to react.
yes. If Sugash is attacked, I want to swing my Warhammer.
Okay, got it. So let me do this real quick, also, and I should have done this on Grandpuck's turn. I need Grandpuck, Sugash, and now I need Utopia to all make me perception checks.
Ooh.
That's just a D20, right?
No, it's
No.
if you look at your skill list. On
Oh,
your
right,
character
right.
sheet-
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm very perceptive, apparently.
Grandpuck is amazingly perceptive.
Where's this thing? Oh, here it is.
Ta-da!
Oh, that's
Damn
an
it.
awesome dice.
Dumb.
So
Well, that's
Sugash-
in character.
Sugash and Utopia don't really notice anything, but Grandpuck, the emblem on when the cloth is ripped off of his shield, the emblem on his shield matches the emblem on Utopia's Warhammer of her family crest almost exactly, but the emblem on his shield has been scored like someone scored an incredible hit on it and just tore through the emblem. But you recognize it because you've seen her Warhammer enough now to see, because it's basically a work of art. So you've seen her Warhammer enough to draw the correlation really easily.
I don't make any comment on it at this time.
Gotcha. All right, so okay, you're holding your action.
Utopia's so offended.
The fact that I don't even get to know this information.
It's frustrating, is it not?
Wow, I'm dumb. It's right there. I'm just like, I'm holding the hammer, and it's like,
You're
nope.
more focused on the fight.
Yeah. Nobody hurts my bestie.
So next is Val.
Okay, Val takes a look, like from where he is. He's staying in the light, just for safety's sake. But I'm assuming I can see through the door and see the shadow creature.
It's actually stepped through the door.
Oh, groovy. Then
Yeah,
yes,
it's outside
I
the
can definitely
door.
see him. and I begin to kind of whisper to myself this very strange melody that even though Aom is next to me, he can't hear it, and I cast dissonant whispers at the creature, and I sing to it. Are you still a bitch? You ain't shit. Your mama ain't shit, and your daddy ain't shit. Grandma ain't shit either.
All right, what's your save on that?
It is a. Oh shoot! I have to target the token first.
Yep.
I always forget about that. Here we go. Babuya. That will be a 13 wisdom save.
Rolling. And he nailed it.
Okay, he still takes half damage from that.
Roll it.
So he will take, or it will take, half of 13 psychic damage.
So that's 6.
So 6.
If you actually right-click on it, you can apply half damage as long as the character's selected.
Oh. I already typed it in, but that's okay. All right. So that is the. Are you doing anything else in your turn, Val? You have any bonus actions or anything to do?
I will. Let me just double check something real quick. I feel like. Yeah. Okay. I am gonna go ahead and begin singing towards towards Utopia. Hit it with your best shot. Yeah! Come on and hit it with your best shot. And I have my last bardic inspiration for her. And you now have a mote of inspiration to use however you see fit.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, thank
Inspiration
you.
from the
That's a
bard.
D6.
All right. So, as you do that and you start to do that, the creature raises its mailed hand, and the hand holding its sword, and it kind of like points one finger, releasing the sword, and it points it at Shagash and Grompak, and he says, "I need to speak with Asta. Sit." And I need both of you to make me wisdom saving throws.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang on a second. Let me target. Can I target you both?
You should be able to.
Okay, good. Then I can just hit it.
Yep, my dice are not happy with me today.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Oh.
at least,
Okay,
at
so
least when we fuck up, we fuck up like a
13,
family.
You both fail.
Bit of a trend today.
Each one of you feels an overwhelming and ancient presence come over your minds, and you cannot move. You are locked in place. And after he finishes the incantation, oh shit! Thank you, Hipster Viking. Thank you, Corey. 5 subs
thank you,
donated.
Hipster
That's
Viking.
amazing. So much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, by the way, everyone, I reinstated something that we had on the previous shows. It is called Dagger Dollars. If you click on the dollar symbol on the bottom left hand in the chat, you can get a listing of everything you can spend Dagger Dollars for. Now, all of you who have been watching the show with us for the past few episodes, you basically will be able to spend all the points you've earned from watching the shows on different actions you can perform. Those actions can be spent for the benefit of the players, or if you want to make it really bad, you can spend those on the bad guys. So, but there is a long list. Now, players,
Can I spend them on the
you
bad
are
guys?
also allowed to spend Dagger Dollars, but only on other players, not on yourself.
Can I spend it on the bad guys?
You can spend it on the bad guys if you really
Crooked
want to.
traitor.
No, it's more just like Aom gets punched in the face.
And Corey just
Handled
redeemed.
for you, buddy.
I know, and I
Empty
appreciate that.
redeemed, hydrate. I do have a question. My drink's alcoholic, so it's really not rehydrating, but I'm still going to drink it anyway. I mean, it
We
is a
may
big
lose
solo.
Rome before the night's over.
No, not a chance.
But anyway,
You're
after
the killer, but it's not going to happen.
after he gets done, after he casts spell, he turns to you, Utopia, and he
Oh,
says,
God.
and he looks at you and he says, "We need to speak." come with me. And he turns and he steps back into the darkness. Are you gonna? You have? Oh wait, you're not in range, so you don't have an AI.
I am, but I'm frozen.
Yeah.
I'll follow him.
Okay.
Oh shit.
You walk
Okay.
in. All right. So you walk into the darkness, and it is just as the darknesses were being cast in those circles before. You smell the distinct scent of coppery saltiness in the air. Although it is dark, it is warmer in this room than it is outside.
Okay.
And you hear a voice in the darkness saying, "This will feel odd."
What?
And then it feels like you have been thrown into a pond of icy water. There's just a massive wave of cold that crashes
my ass.
over you. What?
On my ass.
And you get that whole body rigidity, that shock of when your entire body tenses up when you get hit with something like that, and you have that brief moment, and then suddenly, instead of darkness, you're in this room that's filled with dim light everywhere. You can make out shapes. You look to be in what appears to be a fairly natural cave. And there's light just coming from all areas. But it's too weak to be anything real. So, next we're going to go to Aeom. It's your turn.
Okay. And I just watched that happen? Like I watched Utopia go into the... Okay.
No, you watched Utopia step through the doorway.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and when it moves to your turn, as she steps through the doorway, the light, the doorway, the darkness that fills the doorway is gone. You can see there's
shit.
dim light, like flickering. It looks like a candle or something like that from beyond in the room, but the darkness is gone.
Damn, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna run over to the doorway. Actually, I can walk to the doorway.
I'm a sprint.
Okay. How does drag? Oh, because I'm on select, not move.
So, real quick question for the DM: since
Yes,
he's
sir.
no longer around, is the spell still active?
Actually, no. The moment that there's like this brief, like it feels like the energies that are controlling you are suddenly just cut off.
So are we still in combat?
Yes. Well, you're still in this initiative phase.
Okay.
Okay, I run over to the door. Is there anything that I see inside? No darkness,
Yes.
but
You see in the cell across the way, the creature that was in the cell. Well, number one, the interior of the cell is covered in gore. There's blood dripping from the ceiling. There's body parts, offal, a hand, just littering all over the cell. It looks like he just exploded in the cell.
We kind of expected something similar to this happening.
And the sergeant is in the room mostly. He has been viciously attacked. His left hand was chopped completely off. He was split almost from neck, from collarbone all the way down to like underneath his right arm. And it looks like he wasn't just he wasn't just attacked. He was then attacked after he was dead because there's other wounds on there.
oh damn. Okay.
But there's no one else in the room. And the only thing left is there's one candle still lit in the room.
Shit.
Oh
Can
my
I
God.
turn around and look at my two frozen friends?
Well, they're not frozen
They're not
anymore.
frozen anymore.
They're not frozen anymore. Okay.
But Utopia's not there. There is a stairs at the back of the room. You don't know how fast that thing could move, but
Yeah.
you can your choices are you can turn around to your friends or you can try and run up the stairs.
have the distinct feeling it's not up the stairs.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
just doesn't feel that way. I don't know why. Orcs, did you guys see anything?
Skeleton.
Anything more than what I saw?
Okay, since he didn't go upstairs, now we're going out of initiative.
All right.
There was a
Val, you can just make your way over here on your own. Cool.
skeleton, undead, armored demon, and on his shield was a marred version of Utopia's crest. What do you know of this?
I actually don't know anything about that.
That's highly unusual.
Yeah. I don't know too much about Utopia, but I know that she's essentially alone. She has her uncle, but
Well,
no.
the demon beckoned her into the darkness, and she went willingly, it seemed.
Can any of you? Is there anything left? Like, could you try to find her? I'm not good at that.
I'll go ahead and cast Detect Magic
Okay.
and see if I can see anything.
There is transmutation magic. Sorry. There is yes, but there is quite a bit of magic residue in here, and it all basically leads to strong magics utilized in travel, transmutation. My schools of magic are leaving me right now.
Oh, be a better headmaster.
So I have an odd DM question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Since corpses in 5e are technically considered objects,
Yes.
Oh no.
can I use mending on his chest wound to close it since all the pieces are there?
Oh.
But the thing is, it's still organic. You can't mend a
That's
tree.
why I'm asking, because it says objects.
Yeah.
You can't mend a tree if all the
Nah,
spiders are there.
that's a little bit too broad of a interpretation of that one.
That's fair.
Is the wound in his chest? Can I see if the wound in his chest is mortal?
Oh,
I mean, I know he's dead,
that's-
but
no, it's
He's
absolutely
dead as
mortal.
fuck.
so I can't even
don't.
heal him then.
No, yeah, he is. Whatever the wound he took was, it was so vicious that it probably killed him instantly.
Damn.
Abjuration, conjuration, and divination.
Okay. Turn to everyone. There seems to be a very, very strong conflagration of abjuration, divination, and conjuration magic here. Highly likely that it was used in some sort of magical travel, dare I say, teleportation of some kind.
Would there be any way to find her?
She's your friend, shouldn't you know?
Did you
I really
understand
wish I-
any of that?
No.
I have no means of tracking where she was gone.
Since the area is covered in viscera, can I look around for footprints or an area where they might have made their portal?
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a. Hang on one second. Give me a survival check.
Atta baby.
That's
Come
nice.
on.
I'm good with the dirty 20.
Is that right?
There you go. You can
Nice with
see that he walked a few feet into the room, and she walked like they were within 5 feet of each other, and they were just inside the door. But you can see no more footprints after that.
We might be able to find a wizard or something in this town, but we should probably hurry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you guys on pause for 1 second, and I'm going to jump over to Utopia. So Utopia, you're sitting there in this dark area. You can make out, because it's very dim light, you can make out the figure standing in front of you as being the mail-clad figure. He kind of walks over to what looks to be a large stone, and he slips the shield off his arm, and he sheaths the sword, and he kind of sits down, and he puts his hand on his brow. Well, literally on his eyebrow ridge, because he's a skeleton.
Literally.
And he heaves a large sigh. And he says, I botch us a few moments. There are things moving in the darkness. Your family, our people, are the reason that this thing has found purchase here. When my brother decided to aid the dwarves, I did not approve. But I did not stop him either. For my negligence, I was cursed with this existence. If you wish to save your world, you must find the source of the darkness's power. It has found a way to anchor itself here. That anchor must be destroyed. He kind of looks around, and you can see that the edges of the cavern are getting dimmer. And he says, it comes. He says, you will have to go back. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
I think so.
I pray so, child. Make up for our sins. The Asters are not who you were told they were.
Ooh, shit.
Make up for our past. And I have no right to ask, but save me. And he just puts out his hand, and there is a flash of white even in the dark room. And you guys are standing around, and Utopia suddenly just appears again in the middle of the office. In a flash of white light.
Thanks, Mother. Are you okay?
Oh, no.
I don't like this.
I don't know.
What happened?
What happened? Where did you go?
Somewhere almost dark. I think I was told that at some point I would have to go out on a journey and I would get to meet my family. I met one of them, and he is not what I thought he would be. I don't think any of them will be.
Who was that?
My great-great-uncle or grandfather, one of them.
That explains the corpse.
By the light.
Yeah.
So, as sad and as touching as this is, we are sitting in a jail cell with a murdered guard. We should probably either tell somebody or not be here when they find them.
Who is the fastest?
Probably that little one.
I point to the small one.
Go find guard.
Just anyone? Okay. Can I make, like, perception check just to, like, sprint out the door and see if I can find anything?
Yeah, make me a perception roll.
All right.
By the way, I love having a stream deck now. It's not a hard roll. I mean, there's still guards on patrol. It does take you about 5 minutes of just running along the streets looking for a patrol, and you basically come upon one. They see you running up to them, and one of them holds out his hand and is like, Ho there now, son. What's going on?
We were attacked by shadows, and your guard captain, he died.
The who?
Detective, or I think he was a detective. He investigated things.
Oh, the
And-
sergeant.
Yes, him. He took us in to have
Kind
us
of
like
looks at the
help.
other guys, and he's like, "You boys," he's like, "Mel, you come with me. The rest of you maintain patrol." He's like, "I'm gonna find out what's going on, but be ready. Come if you hear the whistle." And the rest of them kind of nod and they keep on patrol. The other gentleman held back follows him, and they both go take off running after you.
Okay.
Obviously, you outdistance them fairly easily. But he comes back, and you guys come running back to the building.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you doing in like the 5 or 6 minutes he's gone?
I'm actually gonna move outside and guard the door so nobody just randomly walks in.
Same.
Gotcha. So he comes running back up with 2 guards you guys haven't seen before. And as they come running up, one of them walks. The older guard, the one who originally greeted you, Aom, he comes walking up, and you can just see his nostrils flare once, and he says, "Oh Jesus, do I even want to look?"
I hope you have a good stomach.
And
It is not pretty.
He comes out and he kind of looks around, and he looks into the room, and he just kind of like blanches. And he kind of like leans over to the side out. He doesn't go into the room. He just looks in. He kind of leans over to the side and just like kind of just throws up to the right side of the door. And he puts his hand on his mouth and he's like, "It's a charnel house. What happened? Were you present? Did you witness this?"
We didn't see it.
He's
We
like,
were just
here.
outside the door. We
couldn't
heard
see
it.
inside.
"So you're moving further in?"
I believe he's talking to you, RJ.
I assumed that we were inside. So if they stepped out to guard the door, I just want to look and see
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
if the cells. Yeah, while this is going on, I'm just investigating the cell, seeing
Actually,
if
you
the
could have
door
done
was
that.
blown
You could have done
open.
that while they were waiting for the guards to come back. So that
I
would've been
didn't get a
wrong.
fast enough opportunity
Okay, go ahead
to
and roll.
make my point.
We can rewind some time.
I was just trying to do it behind the scenes and not draw attention to everything.
Gotcha. So, what are you looking for in particular in the cell?
I'm checking to see if the gate was busted open, because it was locked before when the creature was in there. So is the gate now damaged and
Not
open,
at
or is
all.
it still closed?
Not at all.
Okay. And I don't see keys or anything to get inside, do I?
The sergeant still has a key ring on his body. It was never removed from his body.
Then I wish to grab that and step into the cell and just investigate the blood spatter.
Well, it's
so
not
to
just
speak.
blood spatter. It's pieces of the body are
Just
everywhere.
around.
They've blown through the cell, of course, because it's just bars. So like,
Right.
there's some on the ceiling. It's all over the floor. It's in the cell adjacent to it. It's in the cell.
Trying to
across from it.
understand what was used to rip this body apart.
Make me an insight check.
Glorious. Oh, that was at 18, you dirty rotten dice.
Have we totally been past 10 minutes? I know
Not
you
yet.
said 5.
Well, it was about 6 or 7 minutes, and
So you
this
still
is
have your
just
D4?
basically all I'm doing is Grandpa is going in and just basically taking a quick look
So
around.
6.
So it's a 6 total. Yeah, you have no idea what happened. About this time, you can hear people running up on the street, coming down the street. Are you staying in the cell, still looking around, or are you making for the door?
I'll start walking out.
Okay.
If they are not guards, I am not letting them look through that door.
No, they're guards. This is the guard that came running up. So you.
Sorry.
It's okay. So you see the guard stick his head in, and he just you see he retches outside the door. He looks at you and he looks over at you guys and he asks the same questions again. he kind of says, he says, I know. He says, I know you had nothing to do with it. He's like, I'm not a fool. He's like, that one, he only has blood on the bottom of his boots. He just walked in there after everything was done. He's like, as do the rest of you who went in present. It's like, he says, this is no natural thing.
No, it is not.
Kind of looks at you, Aom. He says, I'm going to call a priest to the mother. He says, and I'm gonna call in Refen. He's the local wizard. If you can tell them what happened in your own words, we'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
He says, but for my edification, could you give me a rundown of what you saw? I know it's limited. You said you didn't witness this, but what else was going on?
Well, we've come in to speak to the prisoner when he was still in one piece and corporeal. He, in no uncertain terms, informed us that he was sent to basically murder us. And then that there was nothing that we could do to punish him beyond what was already coming for him, which I am assuming was this. We proceeded to leave, unable to get any further answers from the creature. And once the door closed, we heard quite a bit of noise, a loud banging upon the door. At which point we opened it to nothing but darkness, a darkness through which none of us could see. We were then attacked by a demon of shadow. We vanquished said demon, only to have another strange shadow creature appear in the doorway, which took our friend here, and she vanished for quite some time, and took the shadows with them.
Yeah, his eyes darts over to Utopia at this moment, and he kind of looks at her appraisingly, and he says, "And what happened? It's important." And he looks over at the other guard, and he says, "Mel," he says, "go start wake up the wizard and the priestess." He's like, "and bring them over here immediately."
And I put a gentle hand on Utopia's shoulder. It's all right. You can tell them.
He brought me to a cave somehow. I don't know where it was. And there was just enough light to see. And he told me that the darkness that's coming, that's already tried to kill us twice, is my family's fault. That they did something terrible, and that it's cursed him. And that...
Who the hell is your family?
That's the question of the day.
My name is Aster. Utopia Aster.
So you don't know. I guess it's someone of importance that I don't know of. Well, that's neither here nor there. Continue.
There isn't much to say. He said that the darkness has an anchor somewhere in our world,
What?
and it must be destroyed.
What is the darkness?
These orbs of pure darkness that have been appearing around the five of us.
That was just
All day.
magics. I mean, they were using magic against you.
Yes, but the creatures that were using the magic against us was sent, allegedly, by said darkness.
All right. This is definitely too much for me. Was there anything else?
No,
All right.
no.
All right. Well,
I pat Utopia on the shoulder. You did good. You did good.
he says, there's an
Thank
inn.
you.
He says, do you have rooms?
Yes, we
Yep.
do, sir.
Where are you staying?
The Restless Sky Inn.
Okay, all right. I'm going to send the wizards and the priestess over to you as soon as they're done with whatever investigation they're going to mount here. I'm sure they're going to want to speak to you about this. I'll present what you've told me to them, but I'm completely confused as to what's going on. I've never seen anything like this before. You be available to them, please.
Of course.
We will.
Anything you need.
In that case, head back to the hotel. Do you want an escort? I can call guards in.
I am an escort.
I think between our two orc friends here, we may be all right.
He's like, he kind of nods and he's like, I hope so. He says, but in the meantime, get rest. He says, I don't know what's coming next, but this has been more than I could ever have wanted to see in my lifetime. I can only imagine how bad it's been for you.
Indeed, it was definitely an event.
Praise be to the Mist Mother, we made it.
All right.
And Utopia, never forget, you are chosen by the Mist Mother. This isn't your doing.
Okay.
All right. So do you guys head back to the Restless Sky Inn?
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys make your way back to the inn. There's actually a few people actually in the inn now. I guess people have made their way back since the whole situation resolved itself and the guards are no longer present, I guess you say, in the inn. So they're basically people are coming back in, and the owner is serving a very late evening crowd, but there are not a lot of people there, so it's not a huge deal for you to find a seat. Are you guys going to sit down in the end, or are you just going straight to your rooms? I should have asked that first. I apologize.
I'm just gonna find the cleanest table, and Inari and I will take a seat.
I'll sit at the table.
As I walk by the bar, I'm going to take the potato that I'm still holding, set it down. I'm sorry. I
Emotional
got the
support.
sergeant's blood on it. I don't know if it's good to eat anymore. And then I'm going to go sit down.
Blood is good for you, brother.
But the sergeant,
It was painted by some weird shadow.
While at the bar, I'll order some meat and an ale.
Gotcha. And they're all very much, people are there, and the bartender seems to be giving you deferment. Not really, not giving you as much shit as he was before. There's still stains on the floor from the blood. But like I said, everything looks to have recovered enough to where he's serving people. And the waitress comes over, walks over to you guys where you're sitting, and she kind of says, is everything all right?
I don't think you want to ask that.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm really sorry for everything that happened here. I know there's nothing we could have done. I mean, we're not heroes. But I just wanted you to know that I'm still sorry that this happened to you here.
The thought is definitely appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
I took the opportunity to turn down your beds and put warmers in them, so at least you'll be comfortable tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very kind.
It's the least I could do.
We'll be having 2 visitors stopping by looking for us. If they don't arrive before we go to our beds, just let them know we're upstairs.
If they will, it's getting rather late. I don't know why anyone would be calling on you this late in the evening.
It's a wizard and a priest.
Yes, let's just say there was further complication.
I'm sorry. You seem to have a lot of those following you around lately.
Yes.
Praise be to the Mist Mother, though. We made it through.
Praise be. And may that luck continue to follow you.
Thank you.
Indeed.
This is... I don't know what else to say. I'll leave you be. She turns around and walks off.
I kind of turn to the Scritch Inari behind his ears, and I speak to my quarry. Thoughts?
Corey says, I have thoughts. I do not like them.
I figured as much.
Where we are, I don't know if you understand, is not where we came from. I know because I can feel it in myself, deep down. But it is neither a positive nor a negative. It is just as things should be. Which is odd, because that doesn't feel right either.
Interesting. That is certainly something to ponder.
Is,
Mind you, I'm saying all of this like my end of the
Yeah,
conversation is happening
it's
out
out
loud.
So Val goes crazy and begins talking to Air. Your quarry says, there is a part of us that lingers through it all, and that is the knowledge that there is something out there. It is the fear that there is something coming for us. Something that comes in the darkness. This is an ominous portent, at the very least. But it aligns with what we have always felt in our bond with you.
I sigh deeply. I do not like the sound of that, and yet I find myself intrigued.
You feel your quarry chuckle in your head. He's like, you wanted an epic song.
That I chuckle as well. That I did.
Let's
You are
just hope
absolutely right.
We still have an audience for it.
That would be useful.
Does voicing things out loud often help you think, Val?
I suddenly look up and notice that Aom is watching and talking to me. Yes, occasionally. We spoke before of my sharing this body with another spirit.
Oh, yes.
I was conversing with her.
Will I ever get to talk with her?
You would not be able to hear her. She exists inside me and for me alone to hear and converse with.
Interesting.
You might like her. She's fairly nice. A little cheeky, but fairly nice.
I like cheeky.
So, the bartender serves you Shigash and Grandpak at the bar. Do the rest of you at the bar, or do you go sit at a table?
I'm sitting at a table.
I'm at a table.
I'm gonna have that green tea finally.
Gotcha.
Same.
They bring you over drinks, whatever you order, whatever you wish for. They bring you guys green tea. Utopia, what were you drinking?
Oh man, I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. You probably
Water.
order whatever you
Probably
order.
water. Yeah, no water because I'm like in full armor and it's hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Utopia. Are you feeling alright?
No.
I imagine that must have been a lot to deal with, and I do apologize for your incident.
I just don't. I don't understand why my father wouldn't tell me something like this.
Is it something that you might be able to ask him about?
I think I should. If he knew not to tell me, he must know something. I would hope that he wouldn't lie to me for so long, but I think he did.
And do you have reason to trust this creature?
He had my crest. He showed me. And he felt familiar in the way that dreams are. But I've never met my great-great-grandfather in person. Not before now.
True. Unsettling to say the least.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe I should just go home.
No. How would you find the answers?
Some way that wouldn't put the rest of you in danger?
Val laughs. Oh, my dear, I believe we are all already in danger, as you've seen this night. I don't know that there's any avoiding that.
And the Miss Mother chose you. I can promise you she has a plan.
I would like very much for the Mist Mother to include us in that plan. It would be very
Yes.
nice.
And it sounds like my family ruined her plan.
And she still chose you.
There may be redemption for your house yet.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
that's what my ancestor wanted from me.
You owe it to him as well as to yourself to find those answers. And regardless, we are in danger. And even if we weren't, I would go with you to find those answers.
Thank you.
I have to say that I am intrigued by all of this as well. And were my life not already entwined in this, I would certainly go with you, only to have something to add to my story.
How long is that song going to be, Val?
It gets longer and longer the more time passes, I'm afraid.
So, up by the hearth, there's like this open area. In fact, I'll show you the map. Boop. All right. So up by the hearth, there's an open area, and as you're sitting there, you see a minstrel comes walking up, and he has a bar stool from the bar, and he kind of pops it down beside the hearth, and he pulls out a very, very elegant looking fiddle, and he begins playing. It is a kind of a lively, spry tune, almost like a jig. And as he starts playing, some of the other people in the room are smiling and nodding and tapping their feet. It's very counter to, what you guys are kind of going through. Sugash, Grandpak, as you guys are sitting up at the bar, you are, looking around, and you can see the evidence of the fight that happened earlier. And in your society, violence is, there's a day-to-day violence about your society, but there's also a deep respect of peace. But this seems almost not natural. I mean, no one is giving any real notice to the fact that there's huge stains from blood on the floor and everything like that. and people seem to be going about their business as if nothing really happened. And the bartender is kind of nodding to people, and he's smiling. You can tell that he's still a bit shaken, but he seems to be doing everything he can to move along. And the waitress, she's moving around and serving drinks to people and taking orders. And the only time she really seems to be shook is when she looks over at you guys. Not just you and Shugashin, but all five.
Grandpa just smiles at her.
No, if you smile at her, she smiles back. But she's got like a little bit of, kind of almost like a sadness in her gaze when she looks at you. And she kind of smiles and nods here. She goes by, and she comes by, and even though, because the bartenders are getting other customers now, so every time she sees you guys kind of just like looking around the room, she'll walk over by you and say, "Do you need anything, dears?"
No.
This is different. Why do you not mourn?
I get up and I go upstairs and retrieve my loot
Okay.
and come back downstairs with it while all of this is happening. And I sit at the table, and slowly open my loot, pull it out, and tune it while the fiddler is still playing.
Mm-hmm.
And once I'm done tuning, I go over and join him and begin to play along. I'm still feeling kind of somber, but the more I play, it begins to lift my spirits, and I'm playing a nice rhythm along with his melody.
Gotcha. While you're setting all that up, Grandpa, Shugas, what did you say again? Why don't you mourn? That's right.
Why don't you mourn? This is too
she
lively
kind of-
for the death that was seen here.
And she kind of looks around and she says, "People, I guess, just don't want to think about it. Bad thing happened, but we live in a wonderful land. We live in a wonderful place, and even though bad things may happen, we're still safe here. Alteras takes care of its people.
You
The
had
people of Motion are the first amongst equals. And we take care of our own."
creatures randomly show up in your bar and attack your customers, and you think this is a safe place?
Well, yes, it'll be looked into. I'm positive it'll be looked into, and we will find out that it is going to be fine. They will let us know.
The one they captured was ripped apart, and the one in questioning him
I don't know
is
anything.
dead.
I don't know anything about anything of that.
I am telling you.
I know, but And the bartender kind of leans over to her and says, "It's all right." And he kind of looks at you, and he looks around the room, and he's like, "It is always best if you keep positive."
You are such a strange people.
I
It
don't
is-
approve. I'm going to put my glass on the table and cast silence on the two bards as I walk up the stairs.
Yes, that's how I
Damn.
And
I'll
when
grab
I'm-
my chunk of meat and follow him.
when we are both
I
upstairs
look
and away
very,
from the
very
party, I'm
confused.
going to cancel my concentration.
do. So yeah, actually, if you Val, make me a quick Arcana check.
Definitely. Hang on. Come on. There we go. Boop. Normal Arcana.
You definitely know it was me.
Actually, he knows that a silent spell was cast. Now I need to need him to make a perception check.
All right. I can do that. My perception is far worse.
We'd love to see it.
Eh,
Yeah. Well. So you know that that silent spell was cast from somewhere.
I'd figure the two orcs stomping upstairs.
Yeah.
Probably give that away.
Shugash and Grandpa do not look happy as they're going up the stairs.
No.
So it might have been them. It more than likely is them because everyone else seemed to be enjoying the music.
Yeah.
And the moment they get upstairs and you actually hear a door close upstairs, the music comes right back up. No, actually, it's the other bard trying to like he's sawing on the bow as much as he can, trying to get noise to come out of it. And all of a sudden, the silent spell drops, and it's like, rah, 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 rah. And he's like, he almost drops his bow, and he's like, does that happen often here?
I turn to the fiddler. I don't think so, but let's continue anyway. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Kind of looks around, and he's like, we never have to worry about a thing as long as we're here. And he draws a string across the bow and starts playing again.
I join him.
All right. So how long are you guys going to stay downstairs?
I'm just gonna sit cross-legged and watch.
Yeah, I'm going upstairs following Sugash and Grandpa because I wanted to go upstairs in the first place. I feel like trash. So they go upstairs. That gives me an excuse. Also, Sugash is my bestie, so. So yeah, I'm going upstairs. I don't want to be here with the music and everybody.
You still have the same rooms that you had upstairs.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do once you get upstairs? You can see the door to the. You guys, assuming you guys closed the door behind you and
Closed, locked, and I am leaning against it. Nobody's coming in.
Nobody is doing. No. I go up into my room. Finally put. Oh yeah. Oh, Foxrider, you're so right. The vibes are rancid.
there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Literally. Yeah, I go upstairs and put like my hammer down, my shield down, and take my armor off, and then
That
sit on
takes
the
a
bed.
while.
Yeah, which is gonna take a hot minute. But once like all of that is off, I just kind of like sit with the hammer in my lap, and I'm just kind of staring at the crest,
So I'm gonna
Having an
redact
exit-
what I said.
Okay.
having a damn existential crisis.
I'm switching to. I'm gonna go upstairs, but I'm not gonna open the door. I'm just gonna like lean against Utopia's door, like the room that we have,
You guys are sharing
Yeah.
a room,
and
yeah.
just
Yeah, we're
no,
literally
and just. I'm just gonna knock on the door, just like still sitting with my back against the door.
Gotcha.
You all right?
Utopia, there's a knock.
Oh, hold on a second. Okay.
Oh, there was a real
Um,
knock.
I'm like, there's a knock. I'm just like, bro. Like, I mean, I don't want to be mean to my friend, so I'm like, come in, but it's very half-hearted.
I'm not gonna come in.
I'm not gonna come here.
Crying. Yeah, pretty much.
I just wanna make sure you're gonna be okay.
I think I have to be. Don't think I have much of a choice.
You don't have to be okay.
I'm supposed to be okay.
And sometimes we're not. What's wrong with that?
Aren't heroes supposed to be okay with all this happening?
I think it takes a hero to get through the tough moments, but I don't think that makes them invincible.
Okay.
I'm here if you need.
And I'm just gonna lay outside the door.
Oh, thank you. I know. I am the best.
So, Val, how long are you gonna stay downstairs and play?
I stay downstairs and play a couple of songs with the fiddler before I find myself getting tired, and I will then bow to
Actually,
him.
it's really late by that time, and he's actually getting tired too. So he kind of says thank you. And you guys did make like 5 silver apiece from tips from the people who are throwing into the hat. I mean, you probably left your case laying open on the ground or something. And
Nice.
but he kind of like holds up the silver and he gives you your share, and he's like, "Thank you. It's a pleasure playing with you."
No, sir, it was my pleasure. And I take the silver and I put it in his case, and I say, "You keep that." That you have a great night.
You're a generous man. I appreciate it.
From one bard to another, the pleasure is all mine.
Teron.
And to you.
No, my name's Teron.
Oh! My apologies.
Steve, and to you.
I've been out of the world a bit.
Probably got a
Valentine.
concussion.
Balestein. He's like, I will remember you, and I will spread the news of your generosity to our fellow minstrels. Let them know that you're a good man to play with.
I would very much appreciate that.
It's like, consider it done.
Be well, and may the light guide you.
This is the light shines ever upon us here in Alistar.
I case up my loot, and I wander upstairs to the room.
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna pat the floor beside me.
We're in timeout. Toby has a
Papa
brain
squat.
And I look at Aeon very, very confused. I look at the door, and I kind of point to the door, like, you know, we have.
Oh no, this isn't my. It's not a me thing. Maybe it is. I don't know. But
Oh, you're wanting to have a chat.
well, yeah, and
Oh, right then, I suppose. And I lean my loot against the door, and I sit across from Aeon. So, how are you dealing with all of this?
pretty good. I've seen a lot of death in my time. That's not anything new, but I think that it's hard to find something to learn from this.
Sometimes there isn't anything to learn outside of the fact that there's chaos and evil and
That goes against everything my order teaches us. There's always a lesson.
well, perhaps the lesson in this is that there isn't always a lesson. Some songs just meander for no reason. So do some stories. Granted, they always come to an end, or always come to a point at least. It's the way of our stories. We all have stories. Some of us are learning our own while telling each other's. We learn our lessons in the telling and in the experiencing. That's what I was told.
My master would have liked you. Almost as much as I like you, Val. Thanks.
And Val, for the first time, like, feels this kind of warmth towards Aeon. Well, thank you. That given everything that we've experienced tonight, that means a lot.
Well, it's the truth.
So are you guys going to sleep in the hall?
I'm sleeping in the hall.
I
hear-
will, as like a show of solidarity, like just kind of like perch on the wall opposite Aeon and let Inari curl up in my lap.
Okay. All right. So basically, you guys spend the evening, get sleep. The morning comes around, and you guys are sleeping in the hallway. A couple of people come up and take rooms. They kind of eye you suspiciously, but they walk around you and they go to their rooms and everything like that. But in the morning, very bright and very early, they basically come in and there's the bar. Actually, no, it's the bartender comes up the stairs and he comes walking in. He's like, were the rooms not to your liking? As you guys are laying on the floor.
Oh no, they're fantastic. The floor's good too.
It's like,
I believe we're giving our friend some time to cope.
oh wait, one thing, Utopia.
Yeah.
It's been a shitty, crazy day. What's Utopia like is she actually able to go to sleep, or does she stay up all night and kind of process?
She's staying up all night to process.
Okay.
Like she feels like her whole world is crashing down. And she doesn't know what to do, especially in terms of navigating these new friendships. She's been isolated most of her life.
Mm-hmm.
So like she's not sure what the kind of protocol is with friends that are being like supportive and stuff. Like she has no idea what she's doing. And so she's just kind of like, especially she's like paralyzed as she's sitting in the room because she wants to get up and like invite her friends in because she doesn't want them to, be stuck sleeping on the floor because she doesn't know what to do, but also she doesn't want to make decisions for them because that's not okay. That's not how you treat friends. Allegedly, she doesn't know how you're supposed to treat friends. So she's just kind of like just overthinking the entire night.
Okay. So there is
I didn't help
a
at all.
mechanic for when you do not sleep.
Oh, yay.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
So what I need you to do is I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw. The DC is 12.
So do I just roll a DC or do I
No,
roll?
you go to your character sheet and you're gonna roll a Constitution save, which is if you go to. Oh wait, I don't know character sheets.
Yeah, if you click Constitution,
And
it
hit
should
Yeah.
give you the
throw.
option for saving throw.
Oh yeah, saving throw. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I roll with disadvantage or just
No,
normal?
just straight normal.
Okay.
There you go. So you made
Oh
it.
wow.
So
Nice.
basically, what happens if you fail that saving throw is you get a level of what's called exhaustion.
Okay.
Exhaustion does not go away until you take a long rest. And exhaustion gives you disadvantage on fucking everything.
Damn.
And if you gain 5 levels of exhaustion, you die. No saving throws, no nothing.
Oh,
You
dang.
just die. You've basically worked yourself to death. You have a heart attack. You drop dead. You're not covered in cute kitties. You're not enjoying yourself. Nothing like that.
Okay.
So, but anyway, yeah. But you guys do end up sleeping in the hall. And like I said, the tavern keeper comes up and he kind of is shocked that you're still there, and he kind of looks around and he says, "Well, I was about to turn in myself, and we were up pretty late, getting everything back into ship shape." And he says, "I've got my son watching the bar this morning, but a woman came in. It's the priestess, the Lady Jadara. She asked that I come fetch you. She says she's waiting for the Seer Ryson to arrive as well. She says that you were expecting them.
Yes, absolutely. Is she downstairs
Yes, indeed we
or?
were.
She's already downstairs. Ryson hasn't arrived yet. He says, will you get your other friends?"
Yeah.
And I'll knock on Utopia's door.
I go to the door a little too
So
fast.
everyone but Utopia,
Like,
everyone
it's
but
clear that I
Utopia
didn't,
gets a
like-
long rest, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
A long or a short?
Long.
Long.
Awesome.
I will not argue that.
Back.
Nope.
So if you want to do that in Foundry, double click on your character, and under your experience, there's an S rest and an L rest.
Perfect.
And that will reset everything that it needs to.
Spell slots, hit points,
Delightful.
the works.
Oh,
The last of my freaking jelly beans.
oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a horrible day. All right, so I see everyone's long rest, and Grandpa, you already took yours. All right, cool. So,
Except for me.
Grandpa, Shugas, what is your? You guys are both clerics.
Yeah.
What is your ritual? What are your rituals like that you practice? What do you do to honor whoever you worship?
That's a damn good question, Mr. Red.
This is why you're not the next matron, Grandpa.
Yes, perhaps I should ask Sugash.
It gives praise to our ancestors. Everything of our duty and our hunt gives glory to our ancestors, and they help us in trials. They are who we pray to in the past nations of our clan.
So that's what you do when I do my kata in the morning?
It's respectful.
You sit and think while I train?
And yet I'm still better than you.
Brother. You're better with the foof. I'm better with yeah. Yes. We all know you tire of me, brother.
So, I'm assuming that because you choose to work out in the mornings, and Sugash, what do you have? Do you have rituals that, like, you start the day with? I'm assuming Grandpa goes outside and does a brisk workout of some kind.
Yeah, essentially, just I'm exercising, performing the kata, working, making sure all my weapons and gear is. That's Grumpok's way of centering himself as a war domain.
Mine would be more talking to my ancestors in my head, or like a quiet, not quiet, but a meditation at night, going through my day, how I could have done it better, what I did wrong, asking their guidance on what happened through the day.
Praying for the wisdom of the elders.
You're gonna make me role play that at some point, so I should have kept my mouth shut.
I will always. I should not make you role play. You should want to.
You should want to roll.
You're in a role playing.
I'm good with role playing a lot of things. Talking to myself and ancestors. Like, I do that enough in person. It's not role playing.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's 5 voices in there. You can talk to one of them, buddy.
Yeah, but that's not suitable for Twitch.
Twitch, maybe. Facebook,
You haven't banned me yet?
Anyways.
Yeah, sorry.
So, you guys, you doing your morning rituals. As you guys are getting ready to start up, as Sugash, you can hear this conversation happening in the hallway. Grandpak, you're already downstairs. You're downstairs in the yard near where, remember I showed you where the stable building was out by the outside? You're kind of in that little breezeway between the stable building and the actual inn. And you see a woman in white robes. The robes don't look like they're like new or anything like that. They obviously have travel stains on them and everything like that, and they look a little bit threadbare. She walks up to the inn, and as she's walking up, she looks over at you. She has very extenuated features. The line from her cheeks to her chin seems to be longer than it should be, and she has a very narrow, pointed chin. She has very almond-shaped eyes that go up to a very stark slant, and you can see that she has very peaked and pointed ears. Her head is shaved completely bald. She is wearing a hood loosely draped over her head. And you can see that her eyebrows are like white. And she kind of looks at you, and she kind of looks over at you, and she smiles as she's walking by.
She just gets a nod.
And she says, "Your form is good, but your position A, your stance is too wide. Try shortening it up by 1 step. You will find your balance on the back swing is much better." And then she just walks into the inn.
I love her already.
Right?
So, Sugash, as you hear the conversation going in the outside in the hallway, you hear Aom knocking on the other door. Utopia, you like I said, these walls are thin, so you heard the conversation going on in the hallway. What are you doing?
Gearing up again. I didn't sleep, so they're like as the sky was kind of like getting gray, like dawn is coming. Put everything back on in anticipation of like what's probably going to be another wild ass day.
I will tell you this, and this is just for your knowledge. They took out any negatives from staying in armor overnight out of the game. It used to be that if you slept in your armor, you automatically got exhaustion because it's supposed to be so uncomfortable. But I think that they took that out of the game now, so now you can actually sleep in your armor.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to take it off anymore. Which of course takes the whole DMs jumping you while you're asleep thing and just throws it out the window.
Damn. Well, I mean, I also took it off because it's heirloom family armor, and I'm having a crisis over who my family is and what it means that I'm wearing all of this, and so took it off to be to get some space from that. But the day's starting up again. Things are probably going to get crazier. So I get armored up again, and then when Aeom knocks on the door, clearly I am already up, and open it right away because
Now
I
I will say this,
abandoned my
Aeom,
friends outside.
you can see just by looking at her that she probably has not slept at all. She has the bags under her eyes. She has a sallow look to her face of someone who has not slept.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you, Aeom.
Sugash, are you coming out of your room about this time?
Yeah.
All right. So you see Shugash's door open. There's no sign of Grandpa, but Shugash's door opens and he's coming out into the hallway. Do you guys inform him of what's going on?
Yeah, I point towards the stairs. I believe our visitors have finally decided to show themselves.
Then maybe we should go greet them.
Agreed. And I get up and collect my loot and my sword and reattach my sword to my hip, and I take a look at Utopia. Ah, hello, beautiful, and proceed to walk down the stairs.
All right. So you guys all roll back downstairs into the common room. Inside the common room, sitting at the same table you were sitting at the night before, there is the woman I described to Grandpa. As you come downstairs, she stands up and waits by the table. And as you guys come walking down, she kind of gestures to the table and nods to you all. She says, "Please be seated. I wish you to be comfortable."
I nod to her and I speak in Elvish. Thank you.
Ooh, flex.
"You are welcome," she says back in Elvish, which has a very odd accent to it. And she says, "It has been far too long since I have gotten to use our tongue. Or my native tongue." She says, "I appreciate the opportunity."
And I nod to her and I give her a smile and continue in Elvish. I also don't get to speak in your tongue as often as I'd like, and I thank you for the opportunity as well.
She says, "But we will use common from this point on to make sure your friends are not left out." And she switches back to common. And she says, "You are Sugash, yes?
Yes.
Is the other one your brother Grandpa?"
Yes.
Good. I just wanted to make sure I had the names correct. She says,
How do you know our names?
"There was a notepad that was on the sergeant's body. He took, and she kind of gets a pained look on her face. He took very detailed notes."
You knew him then?
She says, I knew him. He has been a member of the Watch in this particular city for a number of years and earned his posting as head of the Watch and this first sergeant. He was a good man.
We respect your honorable dead.
He was a very honorable man. His family will be hard pressed to redeem this loss, and well, the Miss Mother will look after them. Everybody stretch. Oop, what I hit? I hit my bowl. But she says, this is going to be, unfortunately, a bit of an extensive questioning. I spoke with my fellow, Racine, at length last night after we both had time to look through what happened. And it is very puzzling. He will be here momentarily. He is performing a major divination right now. I wanted to get a few moments to try and understand what was happening. And she kind of looks over and says, "You are Valestein, yes?"
Yes. Yes, I am.
She says, "I understand you're one of the rare ones."
Yes, that is correct. We are.
She says, I do not pretend to understand what that reality is like. But if your elder has any insight to offer, please feel free to share it. We will need all the help we can get. She kind of looks over at you, Aom, and she says, "Little brother, I am sorry to meet you under such circumstances. You have not come to the church yet, so I assume that you're very busy."
Yes, I apologize.
It is no. It is the Miss Mother encourages pursuits of knowledge and pursuits of peace. So I'm sorry that your own pursuits were marred so horribly.
Yes, it is saddening, but I should have come. Either way.
I understand what you're saying, but just know that there's no reciprocity for that very small slight. You are your own creature, as the Miss Mother intended. You would have come when it was time for you to come.
Right, you are. Right, you are.
And she says, "So," and she kind of slowly turns and looks at you, Utopia. "Lady Astrid, I understand that you were abducted, for lack of a better term."
And I once again put a gentle, kind of comforting hand on her shoulder, and just give her a reassuring nod.
Yes. Yes, I was.
Now, the report that the senior guard gave me was a bit odd on what happened to you, but from what he understood, you were magically abducted. Is that a good estimation?
Yes.
Grandpa, you're finishing up the last of your calisthenics.
Copy.
You're toweling off, and you walk inside. You can see the group that is all sitting at the table. And as you walk in, she says, "Did it help?"
You are wise.
"Come, please sit. You must need a drink after that extensive workout." And she kind of looks over at the bartender and she nods and waves over. And you see the bartender already has a tray full of ales in front of him. And he kind of nods to her and he grabs the tray and comes walking over. And he begins putting drinks down in front of each of you.
I smile at Grandpa when he says that she's wise.
So he says,
I raise an eyebrow, kind of in surprise.
Ooh.
What shot do you give praise to the Golog Shotrock?
Her,
she kind of
her wisdom was true this morning, brother.
And in Orcish, she says, "That's not a term I've heard used to describe me. Wise woman, yes.
You are an elven witch, are you not?
I am which is considered to be a statement of derogatory nature outside of your homeworlds. Seer or wise woman is more appropriate.
We don't have words for those.
She did say seer in common. She says, it would be best if you refer to them in their common terms then. And she basically
Eldest
switched back
sister.
to common.
Eldest sister.
Yes.
Oh wait, could I understand part
No,
of
she
that?
was
Like the
speaking
parts
them
that were
in
sitting.
Orcish.
Okay, shit. All right, fine.
She's just
Yeah, I
now,
figured
just
as
at this point,
Yeah.
when she says you should probably use the common terms, the only words you understood were seer or wise woman. Because she said those in common. But everything else was in Orcish.
Yeah, I'm
she
just
kind of
going back and forth.
And she kind of stops and she says, but we will stick to the common vernacular, common tongue for the rest of this conversation to make sure that everyone is understanding what we are all discussing. She says, and she kind of stops and she says, oh, finally. And there is a small puff of air that comes from behind Val and Utopia. And standing there is a man in dark robes that have a lot of silver embroidery all along the hems that has a bunch of arcane symbols. He kind of is, he has a walking stick in one hand that he has his hand wrapped around, and it ends, at the end of it is a brass point, but on the under his hand, you see that it is a large blue gemstone that even through his fingers you can tell it's glowing faintly. It is definitely some kind of crystal. Blue crystals are usually associated with air. And this one, though, is of a very deep color, which does not normally happen with blue crystals. So this is probably some kind of rare crystal. He lifts his head up, and he is a human, probably in his mid to late 40s. He's got long black hair that flows out in like a mane around his head, and it's just streaking with gray. He wears a mustache and a goatee that are neatly trimmed. He has a cataract over his right eye, and there is a scar that goes through his eyebrow and barely touches his cheek, and goes a little bit through one eyelid. And he kind of looks at you all, and over that bad eye, he kind of like reaches in the pocket and he puts over a monocle over the eye. And he kind of like blinks a couple times. He's like, better. He's like, I can never wear that damn thing when I'm teleporting. He says, I always lose it. He says, this them? And she says, yes, these are the people who were victims of last night's incident. And he kind of looks over at you all and he says, so you're the ones who encountered the creatures. The otherworldly things, the things from places not in the Mist Mother's domain.
That would be correct, yes. And,
They said they were of the shadow.
I take it you are the wizard.
He's like, I am Ricine. He says,
And I think we lost him. There you go.
oh, who we lose? Oh, do we have a thing?
Uh-oh. Did something happen?
Twitches. Oh, there we go.
We're lagging a little bit, but it's not that bad.
Twitch, you better not.
Yeah, right.
Don't
You
you
better
do
not.
it! Don't you fucking do it!
Better not.
Twitch,
I'm
you
gonna
bitch.
I'm gonna take care of a couple of things really fast to make sure that this goes well, and I'm gonna end some applications that are running in the background.
Legit.
Shut up.
Rat bastard motherfuckers.
Rat sons of bitches. So yeah, I actually had Skype still running. I didn't realize that. So I shut that down.
Oh,
Skype is a bitch.
Skype is built like a bitch.
His mom ain't shit. His daddy ain't shit. Rotten motherfuckers.
All right. So, but she says, he says, looks at you and he says, we will have to make sure that I can get some samples from each of you. I need to see how much residual magics you may or may not have absorbed from your encounter. It is critical that we ascertain your possible contamination. And Jadra says, "Forgive him. He's a bit clinical."
And
I've
think he
encountered
wants to
wizards
touch
in the
my brother.
past. I'm used to the scientific method, as it were.
And Jadra kind of looks at you, Sugash, and she says, "It is definitely not an aggressive situation. It is."
He's already been touched a lot by the little monk.
Oh my god.
It's not
He
like
says,
to be touched.
but there may be some
Sometimes
need for
we
him to examine you further. We will ask and for consent before doing anything.
If it is a necessity, I can help hold him.
She kind of looks over at Grumpak and she says, "I don't think there will be an issue." She kind of smiles at Grumpak and she says, "We have a good understanding, I believe, that each of us can benefit from the experiences of the other." And she says, "But in the meantime, I think it would be very, very rude of us to force you to go through all these questions without at least letting you break your fast. She says, so why don't we all sit down and break bread together? And we will ask you a few questions during the meal, but nothing intrusive and nothing to put you off your food." She says, and she kind of snickers at the orcs. She's like, "If we could." And she says, "But in the meantime, sit and let us at least pay you the respect of making you our guests for now."
You are very kind, and I sit with her, and Inari kind of jumps up onto my lap, and I begin to kind of stroke his fur.
All right. So what we're going to do right now, because it's close enough, and I try and give us a break about 2 hours in, is we're going to take a 10-minute break to let everyone, because I need a new drink too, to let everyone, take a break, get drinks, and everything like that. We will be back in 10 minutes. We thank everyone for having hung out tonight, and we will see you all in 10 minutes' time. Thank you.
We'll be back!
Woo!
I'm here, but I'm not here.
And we're
I'm
live.
Here in spirit.
So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for allowing us to take a brief respite. So, and in that brief respite, I managed to give myself hiccups. So that's great. So, I had another nod from Jadra. The tavern keeper comes walking over, and he basically he sets out a large bowl of what looks to be oatmeal for the most part. And he sets out a bunch of toppings on the table: brown sugar, butter, honey. And he kind of looks around and he says, does anyone want anything special? Eggs? Bacon?
No, this is fine. It reminds me of the monastery.
I will have fried eggs if you don't mind.
Very well. Anyone else?
Okay with bacon or meat. That looks different.
I too shall have the bacon, extra crispy, if you would.
Very well. He's like, he kind of nods, and the Raishon the wizard, he kind of looks at him and he goes, I will have 2 eggs, over easy. He's like, and a side of bacon, coffee, black. He says, no, that'll be all. And he kind of like nods, and she says, what is the nature of your memories of last night? Are they clear?
Too clear.
As clear as they can be, yes.
She says, the reason I ask is we know that magics were used. And she says that some of them were of a nature to grant illusionary presence. And she kind of looks at Raishon and she says, according to our master mage, And she says, even to the point of covering and altering the schools of magic that are represented.
That sounds about right, based on what I was able to read from the situation.
That all went right
Little-
over my head.
The little one also mentioned that he was summoned. Or teleported
Was
or conjured. I don't remember what
transmutation
he
and
said.
conjuration, as well as I can't remember what the other one
Divination, I do believe.
as well as divination. Yes.
Yes, we believe that the other magic that was utilized was covered by the spell.
There was a fourth.
Yes,
Intriguing.
a necromantic.
Ah. That is most unfortunate.
Well, it would explain the skeleton.
The creature, we believe that there were two different sources of magic. There was one that utilized the creature of darkness that you had captured as a waypoint, I guess you would have to say. And she looks at Rayshawn, who nods at her approvingly. And he says, yes, I think that is a good estimation. A waypoint is a good way to sum it. They used it as a portal to come into the cell, but they didn't come into it from another location, like from across town, and teleported through the poor creature. It seems that they used the creature's life force to open a gateway that allowed them to ingress, I should say, into the cell, but also into our world. We have researched these magics for aeons. They are very, very difficult. The Miss Mother is very guarded and protects us very stringently from these accesses, from the possibility of intrusion from other, as they are known, planes of existence. But of course, they exist. We've known that there are things outside the Miss Mother, because otherwise, where would she have found us all? So we know that they're out there. But as I said, the Miss Mother makes it very, very difficult for us to reach them. And then for them to reach us, which is the main purpose of this. He says, and then Jadra looks up and says, we're getting a little bit far afield.
And I'm sorry, the priestess's name is Jagras?
Jadra.
Jagra.
Jadra. And the mage's name is Raysine. Raysien.
And eldest sister, I know that you don't want to continue down this train of thought, but has there been any odd goings on with the Mist Mother? I cannot commune with her as you do.
Do not consider yourself forsaken, little brother. The Mist Mother has found it difficult to reach out. The only thing that our prayers have given us so far is they have given us the knowledge that the Mist Mother herself is in a great deal of stress. She is doing her utmost to try and she is using her strength somewhere else. We
That must
are
correlate
not.
with the dreams I've had.
No dreams were mentioned to us. What dreams?
The Mist Mother has spoken to us. Each one of us.
To all of us here, apparently.
When did this happen? And Racine leans forward. He's like, yes, when did this happen? We were not informed of any of these goings on.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yes, give or take.
And
It is
what
how
was-
we all wound up finding ourselves here.
I don't understand. Explain.
The Miss Mother spoke to us in a dream, each one of us. I don't know if it was the same dream, and told us to find others. We would recognize them by them being covered in mist, and they would recognize us by the same.
And is this true of all of you? She kind of looks around and she looks through at Grampak and Sugash.
Sadly, she would
She
not
says-
get out of our heads.
Yes, I've heard the witch.
I nod and yes, this
We're
is.
not allowed to use that term.
I must have missed that conversation.
She said you were outside.
Very
It is
acceptable.
understandable.
Brother, you're going to get us canceled.
So she says, Grumpak, I know in your language that witch is just a word for a practitioner of magic who is usually an elf. It is, but it is actually the literal translation is an insult.
Eldest sister, I think it would be prudent to, or more accepting if we allowed them to speak in their custom.
Oh,
I do wish that that were a very acceptable thing, but you understand that they are not in their lands, and I do not want to have someone misinterpret what they said, such as a gentleman, such as, and she gestures to her associate Racine, and who does not understand or does not have any knowledge of their culture and takes insult.
So
Racine
we must
says-
adapt our culture for you.
It's like you must assimilate to the culture you've chosen to enter. At least enough to pass by without giving grave insult. If I were to come into your village and remark how I do not see many trophies for great hunters, it would be a great insult.
And
Be
untrue.
our village.
But I would know that because I know of your culture. So you would understand right away that I was trying to give insult. But if it was someone strange to your culture, and they said something similar, I don't think your reaction would be much changed.
My reaction, I would show them. He would not have a good reaction.
So
That's next.
Sorry.
it's okay. She says, either way, once again, we're getting a bit off subject. She says, what we need to make sure of at this point is that I have a complete understanding of what you have gone through. So let's start at the beginning. Each one of you had dreams, yes?
Yes, that is correct.
Have you compared the dreams with each other yet?
We
We
did
had not
have
quite
an
gotten that
opportunity.
far.
I understand that according to the sergeant's notes, you just came together last night?
That
Yes.
is correct.
Right before
Let's-
being attacked.
Let's start there, because that's a point where we have all of you together for the first time, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
How you said that you were each marked by mists. Do you still have those markings? Because I see nothing.
No.
I
The
do not
second
see
we
that
met,
anymore.
they disappeared.
The second you met, they disappeared. So she gave you a sign that you had found the others.
Yes, like the tolling of a
Disappeared.
bell.
Oh, so there was more than just the lifting of the visual. There was also an auditory sign. The Miss Mother was expending great energies, considering what we know of her, of the fact that she is limited in those energies at this point. She was expending great energies to reach out to you.
It would appear
What
that
was the
way, yeah.
nature of what she had? What task did she give to you?
find the darkness.
And she kind of stops, and the Racine looks at her, and he kind of looks at you, and he's like, "Did she tell you how to do this? Did she give you instruction in how to do this?"
No, she was not clear in that. Only to find the others, which wound up being each other.
The
And to work together.
Jadra kind of nods, and she says, "No, that makes sense." She says, "If she was as hard pressed as she being as hard pressed as we think she is, it is wonderful that she was able to expend enough energy to reach out to you in any way and bring you together."
She did mention in the dream that she was expending quite a deal of energy keeping it outside.
And I assume that when you say it, you are literally referring to the darkness.
I would assume so as well. Yes.
Acolyte, what do you remember of your teachings of the Miss Mother and her travels?
I remember that she looked long and hard for all of us, and that there was something that pursued her before she found us. And for a
Yes.
long time she had to hide. But the
Yes.
teachings don't speak much about that.
No. Nor do the songs.
Oh, I'm gonna look over at that. I'm gonna be like, we're gonna talk. Ooh.
The Miss Mother was pursued by a thing that she called the Hungering Darkness. The ancient texts speak of this entity as just a thing of malignancy and evil, a thing that hungered for the Miss Mother and attempted in every way, shape, and form to have her. And she spent much of her time fleeing from it. And even then, when she finally escaped, she spent a great deal of time hiding, but terrified to venture back out. This affected her greatly. And we know this because there was a great period where there is nothing mentioned of the Miss Mother, where she does not give us any details of what happened. She only says that she was hidden and that she stayed hidden for a very long time. And we know that in time she became lonely again and chose to reach out and take the risk journeying through the black to find us again. We still don't know what the black is, but I don't think it's the same thing as the darkness. She does not seem to fear the black, but she does fear the darkness. So she says that the darkness is here.
Yes, and we are charged to find its source, apparently.
Very well. We will have to do everything in our power to help you.
That is most appreciated.
I am a priestess of a temple in a city, a town on the outsides of a city. I am not a high-ranking member of the order. But what I can do, at least from here and for now, is to at least give you some aid in what we can. Rasheen looks over at all of you and he says, if this is all coming to pass as the Miss Mother says it is, then this is not just a portent. This is her attempting to tell us that whatever this malignancy is, whatever this darkness is, that it is somehow present here. And the one thing we know of and are certain of in every aspect of all of our teachings is that we exist within the Miss Mother. I don't understand how the darkness can be here and she not know.
Does a man know when he has an infection and where it is at all times?
He says, well, it depends. Never mind. I get your meaning. Semantics will not aid us and will just delay things.
He was so close.
He's so close.
He was like, you know what? I'm not gonna.
Motherfucker.
You want to ask questions? Where's my PowerPoint?
I don't remember
He
the last
says-
time that everybody knew where their cancer was.
He says, let us assume that this is completely, authentically true. If this is an entity of darkness, then everything that you told us fits. Because I don't know if you understood what the things were that you were fighting. But there are tons of different creatures that the Mist Mother brought in. Some of them she brought in just because of their association with others. And they are all present in the Mist Mother. In different aspects of the Mist Mother, but present nonetheless. Such as the creatures that you brought over, or that were brought over to attack you. They are creatures that are from a plane called the Plane of Shadow. But there is no access to the Plane of Shadow within the Mist Mother. It is very difficult to reach. So these creatures were brought here from somewhere else, but we don't know how. Apparently, though, it is very difficult because these creatures are... They are... As you saw, one of them had to be used as a conduit. And I think that it was used to bring over whatever killed the sergeant in that room. So the actual terror for us is we don't know what happened to the creature that killed the sergeant.
I believe that might have been the creature that we killed not long after.
What creature?
It was a terrifying shadow demon creature. I don't have a better name for it other than that, but it did attack us directly afterwards.
Well, there are creatures that are called shadow demons. They are disembodied entities, translucent black physical form, wings, claws.
Very similar to that.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like.
almost exactly.
Well, those are entities of evil, but they're not from the plane of shadow. They're actual devils, demons. Once again, difficult to summon, but those are more tangential because there's actual worship of them by some peoples, which gives a stronger connection and an easier means of summoning.
Do they usually come out of people?
No, but it would be a conduit, and it would increase the viability. If there was a caster who was not as powerful enough to actually enact the spell under his own will, he could utilize the life force of another to empower and enrich the spell, especially if he had any gems. What?
The little creature did mention his time here was temporary.
Yes. Seemed very certain of it, in fact.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate for him, I am assuming.
He did not seem
Well,
bothered by it.
He did wind up splattered all across the jail cell, so...
So you
unfortunate
defeated
does
the
not
other
begin
creature as
to-
well.
The
The
shadow.
demon, yes.
All right. So we have creatures from the shadow plane, a demon made of shadow, And a dead knight who apparently is related to Miss Utopia. Well, the undead are obviously creatures of darkness.
Yes.
But I don't think that I don't think that this other creature was part of the initial summoning. I don't think he was brought forth. Was he covered in viscera?
It didn't look like it.
No.
Oh, then he arrived in some other way. Perhaps he utilized the conduit from the darkness to come over himself. Maybe there was something that was we were assuming that that's where the necromantic energies came from that were concealed. But if he was not, perhaps not the entity who used the magics to bring himself over, but merely the recipient of those magics, then that indicates that there is someone much more powerful out there. And someone who may be opposing the shadow for whatever reason. Jadra kind of leans forward, puts a hand on the wizard's shoulder, and she says, "We are getting very much into conjecture at this point." She says, I'm going to go back to the temple. She says, "We have items there that I want to bring for you that could help you." She says, "And I want you to have them. We have much to discuss, but at the same time, I must report this to my superiors, and I'm sure Racine wants to report this to the local Wizards Council." And Racine kind of nods. He's like, I have already formulated my initial report and sent it off. He says, "But they're going to want details, so I will probably be summoned." He says, "We will do our best to make sure that you have the ability to continue the journey the Mist Mother has put you on without being brought to question again."
That would be most helpful.
We will make sure of this in the best way we can. He says, "But just understand, if this is the darkness, the real darkness, and it has gained access to the Mist Mother's realm, I can't think of a way it could have done so from without. So even though there may be something else opposing the darkness, there must have been something also aiding it. I just can't think of why."
That doesn't bode well.
There was one of those creatures that we got rid of in here that escaped into your town. As a heads up.
Really?
Yes.
He kind of looks at the bartender and he says, "Where are the bodies?" And he says, "Well, we took them outside. They're going to be burnt." And he says, No, I need something from them. Anything I can." And he goes running out the back door. And Jadra kind of looks at him, and his eyes a little bit wide. And she says, He's very passionate, but he is very skilled and knowledgeable. He understands what he's doing. We will let him deal with whatever he's going to deal with. What are your plans at this point?"
I would love to go to the temple.
It's like that. You can come with me then when I go to retrieve the items. It actually saves me the trip back. You can bring the items back to your friends.
Yes.
It's like, what of the rest of you?
Since we are randomly being attacked, I don't know if separating is wise if it's after all of us.
And she kind of looks at you and she was like,
that is a
"Lady
good
Aster, you
point.
don't have to raise your hand."
Oh no, that was like I want to ask a question out of character.
Oh, out of character?
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. Can I use this as like out of character?
We usually actually cross our fingers and hold our hand like that.
Like this?
Yeah, it's from LARPing.
Okay, bet. I have a question. Is there a method of like immediate long range communication that's accessible or no?
There is definitely spells that can accomplish that. Sending is one. They're not, if you don't have the ability to cast it, sending is usually done by high level clerics, high level bards, I think.
You can
Okay,
also
so-
find sending stones. Bards later level get message.
Yeah.
But did you not on that subject, since we're there, at least to us, you mentioned that there is a form of communication based
Using
in
crystals.
this world. Yes, through the crystals.
Yes.
I think that's what she was referring to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Usually those are restricted to ships because it's more of an emergency communication type scenario between ships. But yeah, like especially like wealthy families might have them and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that you can have, but it's nothing like you have a handheld crystal to talk to someone or a crystal cell phone. It would be
Yeah.
something like you would have to go to like a messaging center for the town and
Okay.
request a message be sent out.
Okay, because I like aside from like literally just like going home, I think that Utopia wants to reach out to her father and be like, "Hi, what the fuck?" Um without like going all the way home because now she also doesn't think she can trust him anymore, but she also wants to be like, "Hey, if you have any information you were holding back, hand it over." Like what the fuck? So I want to know if like there's a way that she would be able to do that.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a way. I'm just trying to, it's going to cost you a bit financially
Okay.
because I'm assuming you want to have this as a private conversation. You don't want a guy there relaying messages back and forth, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is going to take some doing.
It's like a little side quest thingy. I don't
Yes.
know. Like
It's basically going to take a roughly, I would say, it's going to cost about 50 gold. And that is just because they have to establish the link, they have to set it up, and then they have to leave you alone with a crystal.
True. That's true. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's not the normal parlance of how they do it. Normally, the people who operate the crystals, they just take down in shorthand the messages, and then they transcribe them and give them to people. It's kind of like the telegraph.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you throw a good bribe out, you can actually be given private access to a communication crystal.
Okay.
How far is your family from where we are?
You said they're in the capital, or
Yeah, they're in the capital, so I don't
the
know how.
capital is on the coast. You're about midway into the plains area. The coast is probably about 2 days ride, about 5 days walk to the south, and the capital is on this. There's this like kind of like the California coast. Or the Oregon coast. It's a very rocky cliffside overlooking the sea, and the capital is a huge city on the top of this cliffside, and there is a huge airship dock off the cliffs. And then down below that, on the beach area below it, there is a huge fishery that's been built there that processes the ships coming in from actual fishing expeditions. And so that is all built up right around that area. And that is called Seaholm.
Okay.
And it is the capital of not just the people of Motion, but also Alastra.
We could always accompany the monk to his temple and then head to your parents afterwards.
Yeah, I think that would make more sense. Yep.
That would probably
Seems
be
to be
good,
our
yeah.
only sense of direction right now.
Yeah.
She says, to connect with family in a time of trauma, it is definitely something that I would recommend. She says, very well. She says, Aelm, if you will accompany me, we will head directly to the temple. She says, it's still early in the day. If we can get you on your way, you will be able to make time going out.
Do you think you could provide us with a cart?
She says, actually, I might be able to provide you with something better. Have you ever considered hiring out as guards for a caravan?
Let's do it.
And of course, Grandpak and Shugash, you probably have actually done that as a
We've
means
done
to
that
travel.
many times.
Yeah. And she says, orcs are well known to be men of their words, or creatures of their words, and the drovers know that they are well protected.
So, you get upset when I call you a witch, but you're okay calling me a creature.
Well, sometimes people get insulted by humanoid, or human, because you're not human, you're orcs.
I was okay with man.
It's okay with me.
Man is fine.
Biped.
Posture check. Oh,
Flesh bag.
Oh,
flesh bag.
why is the posture check a thing?
Oh,
Meat
God, that
popsicle.
hurts.
Meat bag.
Meat bag.
Alright,
So
really?
she says, I know a drover who comes through regularly and stops at the temple. And he is going to be leaving probably... I can probably convince him to leave today. I think he was just waiting on one more shipment to get loaded up. And I can actually get you hired on as guards for his caravan, which is going to the capital. It'll both save you time because you won't be walking. He says, and it will get you some coin.
I
Thank you.
find that agreeable. Thank you.
It's the least I can do. He says, now, and about that time, Racine comes back into the room, and he's got
Oh
like,
no.
he's got
Oh god.
what looks to be a severed hand.
Oh, damn.
And it's one of the grayskin ones. He's like, this will do nicely. He's like, I will be able to locate the other one. And if we can take it alive, we can find out what it knows. And maybe I can discern some nature of its actual essence in order to be able to track these things and have knowledge of when they cross into this plane. And Jadra kind of looks at him as like, okay, but maybe you should do that at your place.
And did you have to take an entire hand? Would not hair have sufficed?
Or the stuff that's on my boots.
He's like, well, but this is intact, and it has fingers, and it has digits, and a manipulation, and it basically leads directly into the life force of it. And I don't.
You want to make it point, literally point in the direction of the other being,
I
don't
mean,
you?
it's a mechanic. It's maybe theatrical, but it's a
You-
flourish.
You mentioned samples from us. I don't need to give you my hand, do I?
Oh.
No.
That would be gruesome.
I think.
I
I
was
think.
thinking.
I
I'd
think.
rather
with-
need both my hands.
Is it Racine says? I think with the nature of your contact with these creatures and your nature with the how you have been exposed, I think we can consider you to be points of contamination in extremis. And unfortunately, that means that I do not think that you can easily hide from these things.
Well, they have definitely made that quite clear.
Yes. I would seek to try and find a way to help you conceal yourselves, but I think that would take more time than you have to spare. He said it would take me time to research and delve out the necessary rituals in order to cloak you again. He's like, but I will continue to look into it while you are gone, and if I find a way, he kind of looks at you all and he kind of like gives you all up and downs. He's like, I should be able to teleport to any one of you. He's like, so if I find a way to do so, I will find you.
Just not inside of us.
Please.
That would not be recommended. That would be instant death for the both of us.
Yes.
I would suggest finding somebody other than Gromhawk as well. Unless you enjoy being punched when you appear magically in front of somebody with no warning.
Oh, well, I hope that he would not punch me, but I will remember that for the future. So I will not teleport to Grandpa.
If I was walking and you just went poof in front of my face, I would probably punch you too, and I don't fight.
Okay, I will not teleport to either of the orcs. Understood.
It's the touching.
They don't seem to be fond of it.
Take it more of the poof What do you need?
So he says, but in the meantime, I have work to do. And he basically kind of spins around. He starts walking towards the door, and he's like, "Oh wait, that's right!" And he snaps his fingers and disappears.
Damn.
That's useful.
Wizards.
Why can't you do that?
Because I'm not a wizard.
But you go poof.
What do you need?
I caught that reference.
I broke you. Thank you, Val. At least somebody did.
So Jadra takes Aeon. What are the rest of you gonna do?
I actually get up and go with Aeom.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
assumed we
wanna
were
leave
all
him
going.
alone.
Yeah, let's all go. Yeah, we're sticking together.
So you escort Jadra to the temple. It's a small temple that you were in front of the other night. She lets you in, and she says, "I'll be just a moment." And she goes behind the altar, and she kind of like throws back a little carpet behind the altar, between the altar and the vestibule. She throws back a carpet, and she lifts up a trapdoor. And she kind of holds out her hand, and a little ball of light appears in her hand. And she walks down the stairs, and as the trapdoor closes over her, she goes down.
I speak quietly to my quarry. This one is full of surprises.
She is a wise woman. She acquires knowledge.
Yes.
She seeks to know the mysteries of the Mist Mother. And in order to learn mysteries, it is usually best to have a very broad ability to ingest that knowledge.
Indeed. I like her.
He says, she is interesting. Do you know what she is?
A priestess?
No, I
Beyond
meant-
that, an elf?
Not just any elf. She is an Eladrin.
Oh,
She
that
seems
is
to be
quite
in,
interesting.
she seems to be in winter, which is easily explained by the dire nature of what she has uncovered. So hopefully she returns to summer or spring. I have always enjoyed Eladrin when they are in summer or spring. It is refreshing.
That is good to know.
About this time, the trapdoor begins lifting up again as she comes up. And the little ball of light is kind of hovering in front of her as she comes up. And she has a sack in her hands. And she comes up the stairs, and she kind of sets the sack down. She says, I only have one of these. She's like, so you're going to have to decide who carries it. She's like, but... And she reaches into the sack, and she concentrates for a second, and then she reaches into the sack, but, the sack doesn't seem to have anything in it. And she reaches in the sack, she pulls out a red vial, and she sets it down. She's like, you have to think about what you want in order to pull it out. And she puts her hand in the sack again. She pulls another red vial out. She's like, these are healing potions. I have 4. And she keeps on reaching in the sack, pulling them out. So these are regular healing potions. They are good for mending wounds in a tight spot where you absolutely have no other way of healing. She says, but I only have 4 of them. She says, and they're not the strongest. She says, I always will have these. And she reaches in the bag again, she pulls them out again. These 2 are greater. These are the only ones I have. They are much more beneficial. He says, but again, these are the only ones I have. She says, so you're going to only use these in dire emergencies. She says, hopefully you won't have to use them, but if you need them, they're there. She says, this is the best we can provide you with aid at this time. She says, I'm going to go contact the drover and make sure that he is okay with you joining. She says, is there anything else you can think of that I can get you? Common weapons, gear of any kind that you need?
I think
I myself cannot think of anything. I turn
I'm
to
suited up.
the orcs.
Pretty sure we're okay for now too.
I'm suited up.
So she says, this is, of course, a bag of holding. She says, I don't know
read
who wants to
about
take it, but whoever takes it, all you have to do is when you reach into the bag, there's only things in it right now are the potions. And she kind of like puts all the potions back in. She says, so all you have to do is think of either the lesser or the greater potions of healing, and they will appear in your hand in the bag, and then you pull them out. She says, if you put anything else in there, all you have to do is think of the item you want. Says the only things you can put in the bag are things, and she opens up the bag as wide as it'll go, which is about 2 feet circle. She says the only things you can put in here are things that will fit inside this diameter. She says, don't put living things in there. They will die.
I give pointed looks towards the orcs.
They will
We
die
should-
eventually.
Probably leave the bag with the bard then.
Okay, that's fine.
I will take the bag.
She gives the vow.
It will carry my scrolls well.
And she says, don't put anything in there that's perishable, because if you put things in there that are perishable, it's just like they were sitting out on the counter. They will continue to rot.
That will be gross.
It will be, yes. And if you're ever in an emergency and you absolutely need what's in the bag immediately, flip it inside out, and everything that's in the bag will appear around the bag on the ground.
How much can this bag carry?
250
Potentially.
pounds?
Oh, that's a lot.
And it'll always only weigh up to the maximum it'll weigh is 25 pounds.
Huh.
Useful.
It
Very.
is definitely useful. Oh, Corey Redreamed Hydrate. So
I'll drink again.
she says, in the meantime, I hope this gives you some aid, and I hope that you all make your journey successfully and safely. She says, but you're going to be moving through the wilds of the Mist Mother's domain. And as we all know, and I'm sure that our two orcish friends can attest, the Mist Mother's worlds are, none of them are for the faint of heart. But some are require a bit more bravery than others. And she kind of smiles and nods to the two orcs. And she says, but hopefully this will not be a horrible test compared to what you've already gone through, and you will pass through with the Mist Mother's blessing.
Eldest sister,
Yes,
before I go, could we pray?
absolutely. The Mist Mother's home is open to all.
I think it'll be a while before I step foot in another.
Which is like, remember, she walks with you always, all of you.
I'm gonna step out.
Sue steps out. She's like
Follows.
she kinda, as Shugash and Grandpa are leaving, she walks with all of you. She's like, I just wanted to get into their skin a little. She says,
It is so easy.
She says, yes, but it's also so dangerous. But at the same time, I was not joking. The Mist Mother does even look after our green skin brethren. Even if they choose not to
red-skinned.
acknowledge it. Oh, sorry, red skin. One of you is red and one of you is green.
Yeah, you gotta pick. You gotta pick
That's just the token that I originally picked. I can change it if you want.
No, I'm just messing around. Are you both red skinned then?
Yes.
Okay. She's like, our red skinned friends. She said they are
Maybe he just has food poisoning.
it's food
Oh my
poisoning.
God.
He's a little green.
She's beauty. She's great. She's always in your face. She says, take all the time you need to pray. She kind of like looks around and she says, it is good to know that the Mist Mother has chosen people that are willing to take on this challenge. It shows her wisdom, it shows her grace and her benevolence in providing us with champions of your bravery.
Thank you.
You speak highly of us. I hope we can live up to that speech.
I speak highly of the Mist Mother's choices. I have faith in her.
As do I.
And that means I have faith in you all. Even the red two. Take all the time you need. I'm going to go see about to the drover.
Before you go,
Yes.
I lost my master back in the capital.
I wasn't going to mention it, but I had heard.
If you hear anything, I would like to know. I
We
don't
have
know what
not-
her fate was.
We have not heard of her fate as of yet. We knew from you. Oh, wait, hang on one second before we go on this. Rob, Aom, had he gone to any temples or reported in since that happened?
I think he would have gone to a temple just after it happened. It's been like a little while.
Yeah. So she says, we have your initial description of what happened, and we went and investigated and did find that there was absolute evidence that a battle had ensued. But there were no bodies. We, at this point, do not assume that your master fell. But we do have to consider the fact that since there were no bodies at all, that either your master escaped and is working in some way to rectify her situation, or that your master may have been taken prisoner. We are using all the available resources at hand that we have in order to try and track down your master and see if we can ascertain her safety. But until we have news of that, we are continuing to look. And if you hear anything, you will definitely know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you wish to deposit your reliquaries here, you may.
I don't think I can.
It
Not
is your burden and your decision to do it as you will. You are entrusted to it by your master, and we respect the wishes of your master.
I will see her wishes fulfilled.
Very well. I just was attempting to give you the opportunity, considering you are going into danger.
Of course. And I appreciate the concern. I will not let these fall into enemy hands, or into the hands of those who would do ill with them.
I trust in you, as I said, and because I trust in the will of the Miss Mother, and she has placed all of you together for a reason. And when the Miss part, we will understand the nature of her choices. In the meantime, once again, I must see to the drover. And she goes to leave. So she walks out the door and walks kind of by Grumpak and Shugas. And she says, she's still watching. And she walks off.
Hashtag the last word.
Log shot drugs.
And she, but she walks off. And what are you guys gonna do? You have a little bit of time before she comes back. It is still early morning. It's getting on to like late morning, actually mid-morning, late morning. But you don't really have anything directly that you need to take care of at this point.
Can I actually do a search to see if there's any residue outside from our shadow friend?
Absolutely. Give me an investigation roll.
Because it was right outside the temple, right?
It was down the alley to the just north of the temple.
All system.
That's good.
Yeah.
That advantage.
Wow.
Thank you for saying that before the die was rolled.
Yeah. Oh my god! There was not even any evidence there was a fight in the alley.
I'm gonna sit. I didn't even know it was an alley. Apparently,
You're looking down the completely wrong alley.
She's grunting. She's gotten under my skin.
All right.
Witches do have that power, brother.
Oh my god.
So you guys are. Oh, let's go back over to the.
Never said I was a smart orc.
I walk out of the temple and sit on the steps and just kind of quietly go over what's happened in my mind.
You still have much to learn in the ways of tracking, brother. I know it is my job.
So are the rest of you staying inside the temple?
Yeah, I'm gonna light some incense and like set them up.
Gotcha.
And
I sit
just
outside.
sit down and like meditate.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I go to like. Is it set up like are there places to sit?
Well, yeah, there's pews and benches and everything like
There's
that. Basically, it is there's a forward building, which is the actual temple where worship is taking place. There are like 6 rows of pews on either side, and then there is the actual the altar and everything like that. And then behind that, there is another area that's kind of like, a community area and everything like that that's behind the chapel. And then just off to the left of that, there is another area that is the living quarters for the priests and the brothers and sisters who attend the temple. But the door to go out that door is on the southeast corner of the chapel, and it's closed. So that leads into the community area. But there's also an exterior door to the community area just to the south of the main chapel area.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the pew like closest to the altar and just sit with like the hammer in my lap.
Okay. So you go sit down. Val, what are you gonna do?
I'm sitting outside the temple. I open my loot case and I take the loot out and just kind of begin to quietly noodle at it, just as a way to calm myself.
Mm-hmm. So you guys spend your time Aeom in prayer, Utopia in contemplation, Val in basically trying to distract herself, and Shugash and Grumpak, you're spending your time looking around outside in vain. After about 10, almost 15 minutes, she comes back walking up the street from the south, and she sees Grumpak and Shugash outside, and she says, "It's done." She says, you all should meet him at the Drovers Park. She says, it's just south of the inn you were staying in, on the road. She says, he is ready for you to join his group. He understands that you all are going to be guards, but he knows you have other reasons for joining that are reasons that the church condones and blesses. So if anything happens, he is adding you as a supplemental to his existing guards. But if you need to depart, you will not leave him short-handed. Is that clear?
Yes. Thank you.
That's good to
I just
know.
wanted to make sure that we were... I want to make sure we understood that you are on a mission from the Mist Mother, and that is your number one priority. And she kind
Did you tell them that?
What?
Did you tell them that?
That's what I just explained. I said that if you had to leave, you weren't going to leave him short-handed.
No.
He knows you're on a mission.
But does he know the nature of our quest?
No, he does not. He just knows that the church condones your actions and that you are being sent. You have our blessing. For the
Did
most
you
part,
tell him that we were being hunted?
no.
Ooh.
That was probably something that needed to be mentioned.
She's like, I will leave that up to you to mention.
We'll let the monk do it. He's happy.
She says,
Nice.
She says, I will leave that up to you to inform him of. But I did say that you were on a mission from the church, and I don't know. I understand why the orcs wouldn't have any not foreknowledge, but have any real understanding of what that means. But the church is often takes on missions that have risk. So he knows that if we are talking about you going on a mission,
Who's whistling?
I don't know who's whistling, but we are having issues with the stream.
Uh-oh.
Just
Not
give it a
again.
minute.
Oh, yeah, we were frozen there for a moment.
We're still frozen. I'm trying to think of
Or
what I was
what?
Yeah,
messing
where is
with.
that?
We're going at it
We're still live
point
Yeah,
two
on OA.
frames a minute. Yeah, OA, we're running fine.
Yeah, we dropped to
Hi.
like 1.8, 1.2 or 1.8 frames per second. So we had
Oh,
a
boy.
Damn.
that was on my PC side. That something happened. I touched something.
Stop motion.
Stop
We
touching
know
things.
it's not frozen on
No,
your end, Vardy.
yeah, and
we
I'm-
just had that conversation.
Yeah, my chat.
All right. So,
My chat is being my chat, so.
yeah. So basically, she basically says that he will understand that there is always risk when the church sends people on a mission, and he is loyal to the Miss Mother. He is a believer. He says, but by all means, if you can keep him out of the harm's way, do so. He is not here to fight.
We will do our best.
Burning a caravan is a dangerous occupation, and he knows this.
Yes.
But if us being part of that adds to the danger, then it is right of him to know this. And I will let him know.
We shall let him become aware.
I'm gonna
But-
step out of the temple at this time.
Yeah, I'm
start
following
walking.
you.
So you guys head to the south. It takes about 45 minutes to walk all the way over there. There is a large area because it's right south of the hotel, or the inn you were staying in. There's a large area that is a huge circular area where the wagon trains circle up in order to form up and load up cargo. There's large distribution warehouses surrounding it, and there's two main streets going north and south out of this area that are big enough for two wagons to go either direct, or one wagon to go either direction. Two wagons go on the street. And so this is a very large open area. It's very, very dusty. There is currently a wagon train of 6 wagons being that looks like it's just getting the last of the items loaded on. There are about a dozen horses also around, and there is armed men sitting around, tending to the horses, checking their gear. On each one of the benches, there is a drover who is currently looking over and each one of them have clipboards, and they're doing counts on everything that's inside the wagons. And at the front cart, there is a man who stands there, and he sees you all coming through, and he looks at you all and he says, "Are you sent by Lady Jadara?"
Yes.
I bow. Yes, that is correct.
"I am Drove Master Cairo." He says, "Welcome to our small but humble caravan." He says, "We are making for the capital. That is your destination as well, yes?"
Yep.
Wonderful. He says, we would gladly take on the extra support." He says, "But we know that you are on a mission for the mother. And we will be perfectly fine if you have to depart us. Please."
I think it bears warning that part of the nature of our quest for the Mist Mother undertakes a bit of risk for us and for you as well, as we are, for lack of a better term, being hunted.
Last night I was eating soup. As I was eating the soup, I swallowed and choked. It took several moments for me to get my breath back. During that entire time, I was not afraid. For I knew that if it was my time, it was my time. And the Mist Mother would take me in her arms. But I also knew that it's very ridiculous to be scared of soup.
A wise man. And a true believer.
And I really like soup.
As I said, a wise man.
Soup is indeed delicious. Right. Okay.
It's a strange land.
I'm sorry, RJ, did I break you?
I turn to the
I'm
orc.
perfectly fine over here.
I turn to the orc and lean back towards him. I'm not sure so much that the land is as strange as its people. And then I lean.
Do you not talk to yourself and receive answers?
I lean back again. Touche.
If it makes you feel better, Val, I talk to myself, but I don't receive answers.
So he says,
So you're just crazy.
I don't know which is worse.
kind of looks you all over. He's like, you don't have mounts, correct?
No.
Then you will each take bench. Can you all use bows, crossbows?
I don't need a bow.
Let me double check my character sheet. Ooh.
No.
Oh no, I can't.
I can use a crossbow.
Ooh.
Gotcha. He says, if you can use a crossbow, we have crossbows provided. If you can't, then just be ready. If anything happens, you may have to enter battle from a distance. If we get hit by bandits, it's usually a problem. Anything else out there is going to run up on the carts, so you're pretty much guaranteed it's going to come to you.
Good to know.
He says, we will be journeying 3 days. He says, and then we will hit the drover station just outside the capital where we will have to check our goods. From there, you can take the rest of the way in on foot, because we will be held there by customs. He says, other than that, it should be a fairly uneventful trip. He says, the usual land sharks, axe beaks. He says, displacer beasts,
Land
usual
sharks.
pests.
Land sharks.
Yes. You've never heard of land sharks?
No, don't have them where I come from.
Are there not books in your monastery that go over such fauna?
Most of the time they talk about things on Kyrell. Not really things that are on other
You're
planets.
from Cairo.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I haven't heard of any land sharks in Cairo, so I can understand that. A land
Who
shark
did
is a
roll?
creature that is...
I was gonna roll to know that because you said they were from our area. So, go figure on a history check. I get a 20.
Yep.
2
Can't
1s, but it
identify
doesn't
an
matter.
alleyway.
But a
So,
20.
Sugash,
Knows everything
number one,
about
do you
land
know what a
shark.
boulet is?
Yeah, I
Roland?
know what a boulet is.
Sugash could give a dissertation on boulets
Period.
and how to cook them.
Don't refer to them as land sharks or maybe as boulets, but they are large armored beasts that are fun to hunt, and they spend most of their time underground. They're extremely dangerous, not very fond of people. We
Well,
play
they make great
with them sometimes.
snacks.
They are very good food.
I've never tried one.
I've
It's
never
normal.
heard of anyone eating one. I've heard people making armor out of their hide.
If you pull the plates apart, there's lush meat underside.
I will
It
take
is
your word for it.
Quite delicate.
I
I'll
never
just
thought
stand
of
really close to you, Grandpa.
And I just pat Grandpa on the back.
Oh no! No!
Oh no! Val's
No.
eyes goes wide.
Oh god!
Grandpa reaches over and like a mom cat grabs Aeon by like the back of his neck, sets him on one of the carts before walking away.
Wait,
Scruff lifted a satyr onto a cart. That's
I
amazing.
love that.
We have officially had our first scruffing of the adventure.
That was amazing.
All right, so
Yeah.
here's the deal. I wanted, and this is something that I'm going to both address you guys about and address the audience about. This is a really good place to stop. Because the next adventures are going to be taking place on the droving trip. But I also wanted to ask you guys, do you guys want to start maybe wrapping it up at 3 hours instead of 4?
Whatever's easier for you
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
people
truly.
back east. It's early for me in Rome, so at the end of the day, I believe, Aom, you're on the East Coast, are you not?
Yeah, like I'm on Eastern time. Yeah.
So is
Yep.
So it's 11 o'clock for y'all. It's 8 o'clock here.
well, why don't we
Yeah,
try
so-
this, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think?
Like I can D&D for hours.
Yeah, I'll keep going.
Yeah. Like flexibility is cool. Like if one night it's just like it's good to end it here, that's cool.
Fox
If another
Rider's
night
like, I'm gonna
it's
pass out, bro.
Yeah, Fox Rider does say please.
Yeah,
my
Fox
mom
Riders
and-
are statisticians. So, but anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to call it a night a little bit early tonight. Let's just go ahead and say it's a solid 3 hours, and then if we have anything to do beyond that, it'll be basically on an as-need basis. If we're deep into a story or if we're deep into a combat or something like that, and we know we can finish it in an hour, we'll continue. And if we can't, then we will go ahead and we'll roll over to the next show. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so
wait,
much.
before we go,
Yes.
I'm gonna lean down to Val and I'm gonna be like Val and Utopia.
he touched me.
And Val will very much. I was yes, he did.
I love
The
the
least
yes,
of what he could have done.
I think that he understands the melding of cultures. So I touch him, but he doesn't like it. But now he touches me.
Oh, sure. Yes. Let's go with that.
Grandpa,
Wow.
tomorrow you're teaching me those katas.
Okay. Before
I'm good.
I
Aeon
can
gets
live with
himself
that
killed.
You might not like the outcome, but I can live with that one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you. I want to thank all my cast for being on tonight. I had a great time, and we are starting to get things really rolling now.
Haha, rolling.
And we are going to be continuing on with this, and in the capital, we may get to see our first airships.
Noise.
So
I remember when Rome wanted one.
when Rome wanted one, he still wants one. What are you talking about?
Should also remember that satyrs can't fly.
That what can fly?
I said that satyrs cannot fly.
Well, they can,
Oh.
but it usually requires a device to launch them.
I just mean with the touching of Grompak. That might
Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
can.
The second scruffing will be off the side of an airship.
So always remember that all the members of our cast are also part of their own adventures that they do on the internet. Sphinx has his channel on TikTok where he makes amazing videos, and he has a podcast. You can find all the links for those in the link tree that we just shared out in the chat. And if you want to follow Sphinx, please do so. He's an amazing creator, and we are honored to have him on the show. So thank you so much for
thank
being
you.
here.
Heck yeah.
Thank you.
Also,
Yeah.
Milagros is, as she says, a baby content creator. And she is branching out and getting your TikToks are already there. And I do love your TikToks because I get to pick on you when you don't do your homework.
True.
But Milagros also has her link tree all set up, and she has everything that she is participating and working on there. And we might be setting up that show for Milagros in what you said around June or July.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
Milagros may be launching her own show on Dinner and a Game. So we will be seeing that hopefully in the future. So And
Thank
we're working towards
you.
that. We have to work out some technical issues on it because Milagros has got some, she's going to be trying to do some video overlays and stuff like that we're going to have to work on and see how we can make that happen. But it sounds like a great idea, so I'm really anxious to get that going.
Thank you.
No problem. Don't forget, you can find Rome and RJ over at, why is this not doing it? Over at OA. I kept on typing 0 instead of O. Over on Facebook, where Rome streams daily different video games from Dual Universe. What's the new flight sim you're playing, Rome?
Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous.
Oh, I
Ooh,
love that game
nice.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, he's been streaming that. Today he got shot the fuck up, so that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's the first time I got
Nice enough.
On my games then.
Rip. Oh my God.
And Oblivious Adventures has their own D&D game. They normally do on Sundays. Is it going to happen this Sunday, guys?
Yeah, it's on Sunday.
No,
we might be moving it to Monday. That hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah, we will update in the future by the end of this week with a date and time for West Haven. We
the anniversary.
might throw an anniversary special for you guys.
Got it. Excellent. So that is going to be their possible change in schedule, but that's only for this next week because of the anniversary, and then they will be on the regular schedule for Sundays. And
Sunday, 7:30 PST.
Yep. And then Rob is a member of the cast of the I'm really good with the talk. With the cast of the Lab Experiments in Gaming, and they're going to be continuing their journey into Fall of Magic, which they are playing with the creator of Fall of Magic, Ross Cowman. And so that's going to be this Friday, and it's going to be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And they already started the game last week, so you can go to our YouTube, which you can find in our links, and you can go to our YouTube and you can check the last show, so you can be ready for the new show. And it is going to be continuing from where they left off, and maybe they'll finish it this time. I'm not 100% sure. They really get into the story, and it kind of makes everything go kind of crazy. But it is an amazing story, and they're amazing storytellers, and it's a great it's a great thing to watch because it is absolutely wonderful storytelling, and they're all amazing. And so, if you can. No problem. If you can, give them a follow. You can find all of our links in our link tree that I just posted up there. So you can go there to find our YouTube link. You can go there to find the link for our Facebook and for our Discord. Remember, if you join our Discord, we are always posting up new information there with any changes to schedules, any questions that we are trying to get for ideas for dinner conversations. All that stuff is posted on there. And we also are usually on there just about all the time. So if you have any questions for any of the cast, we have an Ask Cast channel, and we appreciate all your love and support. But in the meantime, I think it is time that we show some love to other people. So we're going to raid.
Raid.
We're going to raid a show called The Adventure Archive. They are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they are... I think we've raided them before, but in the past. So everyone make sure that when you go into the raid that you tell them, that Dinner and a Game sent you, and that you make some noise. And if you can, please give them a follow. That's why we raid, to support other creators who are creating content for you guys to enjoy. So give them a follow if you can, share the love, and let them know that Dinner and a Game sent you. All right? Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great evening, and we will see you in a week for Kingdoms of Mist, and on Friday for the Lab Experiments in Gaming. In the meantime,
Good night.
All right. Good night, y'all.
And for my guys, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.
that's it.
I don't have a lot.